Hey guys, how's it going? Let me finish setting up this room real quick and then we can get started. So let me pull up the charts for 1 second. Yeah, US 30 is moving pretty crazy this morning as it normally does. So we're just gonna wait for it to smoothen out and then we'll start looking for some scalps. We had one other position that was running. It was the Euro CAD sell right here, and it hit full TPRD for 40 pips. So other than that, I think the market's been kind of slow overall. So we're just waiting for it to pick up so that we can, start picking off on some more trades. But it is Tuesday, so it looks like the market should be picking up a little bit, as volatility starts to pick up for the week. It is end of month though. So for one, it's end of month and it's NFP week. So that's why the market's generally slow the first couple of days of NFP, and then it starts to pick up like late Tuesday, early Wednesday. So we'll see how this plays out, but I think it should pick up within the next couple of days or so. All right, let me just finish setting this up real quick, and then we should be good to go. All right, nice. Spencer made some good profit today. Let me add that to the list. All right, 6:30. So market should be moving. Well, US 30 specifically, let's see. Yeah, it's starting to move a little bit. It's not really moving that much. Not as much as it. Yeah, not really that much. It's only moving like 400 pips. Generally, it's moving like 1,000 pips. I don't think there's any news today either. Let's see. Actually, there's some news at 7. So there's news in 30 minutes. I don't think this is necessarily a bad thing. This is probably going to, push some volatility into the market. So it'll help us when we're looking for some trades. Looks like there's going to be a scalp that's available right here actually for a sell. I'm like tempted to take it, but I know it's going to be risky. So we got about a minute left on this. Let me check the other charts here. And I've been using a different variation to the scalp strategy. Basically, well, this lines up with the 10-minute as well, but this is going to be a different variation to the scalp strategy where we use the 15-minute zones and the 3-minute for entries. So I might take this right here. Here, let me just check this real quick. I know this is going to be a risky trade, but I might take it. Sell right here. 50 pips. Actually, I'm not going to take it. If you guys want to take it, yeah, this is going to be a really risky trade, but if you guys want to take it, you guys can. Actually, I'm going to hop into it real quick. I'm going to hop in for a small little scalp, nothing crazy. Probably just going to hop in and out. So here are the parameters for that real quick. Let me just add it to mine. See what the difference is. Let's see, 33,135 minus 33,126. It's only off by like 10 pips, so it's not a big difference. But yeah, let me set my parameters real quick. So 33179. 3079. All right, cool. So I'm in this position right now. I might be exiting a little early. I'm going to follow it and see how it moves from here. Because it is the opening candle, so it is a little manipulated or very manipulated. We'll see. And this is the 10-minute candle. It hasn't even closed yet. So this would be off the 3-minute. So we'll see how it plays out. But like I mentioned, it's a really risky trade because it is the opening candle. So take it at your own risk if you guys want to. I'll be watching it. Take like a smaller lot size on it just to see how it plays out. There were sentiments at as well. 72% short, 71%. I mean, it's not super high, but it is kind of high. It's above the 70 right now. So we'll see where this plays out. Yeah, this falls under a CT's strategy. So if you guys saw CT's profits yesterday, he's the guy that locked in like about 8,000 yesterday. I talked to him and asked him what he was doing. He's just using a small variation to the strategy we're already using. So these are his profits from yesterday. Made 7,919 and 16 cents. He basically uses the snipe strategy, but he uses the 15-minute zones and 3-minute for the entry points. So for example, here's a 15-minute. There's the zones that I drew up. I go on the 3-minute for the entries, and that's pretty much where I found this entry right here. But the only risky part about this is that this is off the opening candle at 6 o'clock or 6:30. I mean, 6:33. So I will. I'll probably cover the strategy a little later today, as we let the trades play out. But anyways, let me go to oh, it's dropping. Let me go and send this link out real quick, and then we should be able to get started. All right, it's starting to drop pretty nice. Hey, morning, Rick. Morning, Peter. Morning, Barobi. Morning, Hugo. Morning, Shairul. Morning, Camo. Morning, Kushi. Morning, everybody. Let me send this link out real quick to everybody in the room, and then we can get started. I haven't sent out the link yet. I think this is just everyone who is subscribed. Let me just check real quick. I'm sending out this link to everybody over here. Currently still watching the trade as well. Or actually, since I'm in the trade, this might be considered like an official trade, because I call, like, all the trades that I do post are the ones that I'm actually taking. So I'll send you guys a follow-up once it plays out. Let me see where I'm at right now. Yeah, I'm just gonna let it play out. See what else we got here. So I got this set up over here. The next place I'm gonna send it to is the email real quick, and I'll send you guys a Zoom link too. Just give me 1 second so that I can post this link up everywhere, and then we should be good with that. All right, sent it out to there. Just gotta get it on social media real quick, Facebook, Instagram, and then we should be good to go. And then I will send you guys the Zoom link as well. Let's see, 638. Market's still moving kind of crazy right now. Yeah, it's a huge wick from the bottom. All right. Send this link out to you guys real quick. All right, the Instagram's done. Get this on the Facebook real quick, and we should be good to go. And I'll go over the strategy again, guys. So this is a different variation to the snipe strategy that we've been applying. It's just one that CT has been using. So let me finish sending this out. I think that's it for the most part. Let me just get the Zoom link for you guys. Let's see if anything is late here. Hey, what's up, Lloyd? Morning. Morning, Emmanuel. Morning, Roscoe. Morning, David. Morning, Flynn. Morning, everybody. So let me just send this link out to you guys for the Zoom, and then we should be good. Yeah, coin just locked in some crazy profit right now. Let me send an alert here so we can follow this as it continues to drop. Every time someone joins it. Oh, it doesn't matter for the freaking thing because it already hit full TP. All right, so we just hit full TP off that, guys. So I'll send you my profit shortly. So whoever caught that with me, congrats to everybody. That was a quick move. There you go. Full TP off that. All right. So I made, whew, what a nice day to start off the trading. What a nice trade to start off the trading day. I made 2,000. So as you guys can see right here, this trade just closed a few minutes ago. I made 2,290. So thanks CT for that strategy. Yeah, that's crazy. That was a real quick profit. So basically the strategy that I applied for this entry right here, this is the same strategy that we've been applying, the same snipe strategy. It's just a different variation to it. Basically what CT uses is he uses the 15-minute zones, and then he uses the 3-minute for entry. So there's 2 entries there that were actually available. Fortunately, I missed the second one. There was a second one right after it. But let me give you guys an update in the room real quick. All right, let me just send this out to these guys over here. Right there, that's pretty nice. Made 2,000 off that. So I think I'm gonna start just letting my trades just run, guys, now, because I ended up closing my trades too early and I ended up missing the full TP. So I think from now on, I'm just gonna let my trades run, and I'm just gonna take my chances because our win rate's so high. There's really no need to close out early, unless the market's moving kind of crazy. If the market's moving crazy, then yeah, it'd be better to close it out early. But for the most part, it's pretty much all right to just let them run. So as you guys can see there, I started off the trading day doing pretty well right here. So yeah, what's up, Roosevelt? Roosevelt say, hey, man, so I'm still in my cell from yesterday. So you're probably recovering from that, Roosevelt. Morning, Elijah. Sorry, I butchered your name. Morning, Alkin. Morning, everybody. So yeah, guys, I just mentioned that I took this trade here. This is pretty much the snipe strategy. This is going to be the K2 CT's K2 Snipe Strategy, which is a 15-minute SR, 3-minute entry. And it's pretty much the same strategy. You just confirm draw zones on 15-minute. You confirm with rejection off K2 pivot, and 3, confirm with rejection off K2 SR zone. Or lastly, confirm wick rejection off pivot does not touch candle body. And that's pretty much it. This is the strategy right here. So the reason why we took this right here was that we waited for the rejection off the pivot right here. We drew these zones on the 15-minute. We had the rejection off the K2 SR zone, and then we took the sell right here, which we ended up hitting full TP. And that's how I locked in this. That's how I locked in this profit just now. 2,290 in profit. So that's how I apply that strategy. It's the same strategy, just small variation to it. And yeah, we did pretty well off that. Yeah, I'm RG. How's it going? Morning. So, yeah, other than that, I'll start looking for some more scalps as well as we continue. There's actually another one right here. This is closing right now. I'm going to enter another sell right here. So here's another sell scalp right here. There, let me just set this up real quick. So I'm currently in this trade already, guys. Wait, what the fuck? Oh my god, my MT4 is freaking frozen. No way. So I missed the trade. I did. Damn it. Freaking MT4, man. Damn, man. I tried to enter the trade and it didn't. I hit execute like 4 times. It didn't execute it. It's all good. Well, I missed this trade then. So I missed this one right here. If it comes back up, I'll probably re-enter. But I did miss the trade. You know, actually, this trade lines up with the 10-minute right here. All right, so this is gonna be the same strategy just here on the 10-minute. So this is gonna be right here. I entered a little late, so I'm currently in the position right now. I'm in profit, so I actually entered up here. So if you guys want to enter, you guys can enter now. It's just I'm already in the trade and I'm kind of late. So I entered right here, and I'll show you my profits right now, my active profits. So I entered this trade really late, actually. So I'm in the position right now. I'm in profit almost 1,000. This is my active position right now. So if you guys want to enter this position, you guys can. It's just a late entry. I entered up here. So I'm just going to set my TP parameters right now. This is going to be Snipe Scalp. Snipe number 1. I'm just going to set my parameters right there so that I can follow it. So I'm currently running this position right here. It's already almost in full TP, guys. So if you guys didn't enter it, then you guys should probably just hold off on it. Let's wait for the next one. The market's moving really fast right now, so it's kind of hard for us to really set up these parameters and give you guys these trade right away. Let me see. And I think every time someone enters the Zoom room, that's when my screen freezes. I wasn't able to enter the trade earlier. I would have entered like way up here if I had the opportunity, but it seems like every time someone joins the Zoom room, that's why you hear that little clicking sound sometimes, because like that, see that? Whenever someone joins the Zoom room, it freezes up my screen, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. So I'm in profit about 1,500 off that current trade right now, right here. So I'm profit 1,500. I'm just gonna let it run. So yeah, there are the parameters right there for that one. And I'll send you guys the profits after. Damn, this is crazy. Now we have so many variations to the strategy. There's a lot of opportunity for entries here. So I'm just gonna copy this over here because this is the same thing, so that you guys can see, you know, what strategy we're applying here. Almost there. All right, the TP did hit off that. It's just not manually close mine. All right, so I'm out of this trade, guys. Full TP off that as well. I'll show you my profits right now as well. I'm on like 5,000 for today. The session just started. We've only been in the session for like 20 minutes. All right, let me show you my profits real quick. So I just hit full TP off that too. Damn, that's crazy, dude. This session, like literally I think I'm gonna just stick to a US session, guys, because this is where we have the best trades like every time. So let me show you guys real quick. So I just took 2 trades this morning. I just hit full TP right there. You go, full TP, full TP. So right here, you can see my first trade right here. I made 2,290. My second trade, I made 2090. So in total right now for this morning, I'm in profit on this specific account. I'm in profit 2,290 plus 2,090. So I'm in profit 4,380 off this one account. And then I have my 100K funded as well. So that's doing pretty good too. But yeah, so this is pretty much the strategy right here. I'll just go over it with you guys real quick. This is the K2 Snipe Strategy, US 30 10-minute US 30 10-minute time frame. And that's pretty much it. Like we wait for, we confirm wick rejection off the K2 pivot, which would be right here. This entry was kind of late though, because we were basing it off the, oh crap, there's another entry. Damn, I just missed this one. There's another one right here. Okay, whatever, it's all good. I missed it already, it's too late. There's another entry that's literally right here. And it's gonna hit full TP again, damn. So if you guys know the strategy and you guys are applying it yourself, man, this is a gold mine right now, guys. 3 back-to-back wins right there. I want to enter it, but I don't want to enter too late. This is way too late to enter. I'm already off like 300 pips. Damn, that would have been 6,000 for the day. Okay, let me all right, it's all good. Let me just I mean, yeah, I'm just gonna have to throw that trade away. It's just I can't take it. It's too late. Too late to hop into that one. Let's see, Jonathan. Let me show you guys Jonathan's profits as well. If it swings up, maybe I could re-enter for a late entry. Oh, we'll see. Not gonna force it. Nice. Yeah, so Jonathan over here, he took those scalps, the same ones that I just called right now. He made 1,311. So nice work, Jonathan, off that. I think who else made profit? Spencer as well this morning. So Spencer also took a couple trades here. He made 1,435. And then Steven over here made a couple pennies. He made like 1 cent, 18 cents. So profit's profit. It doesn't matter if you have big account, small account. But Spencer, he locked in 1,400 and Jonathan locked in 1,300 this morning, while I locked in about 4,003 something, I believe. So nice work all around, guys, for you guys. You know, I wanted to enter this trade right here. It's too late, but it's all good. We're going to, you know, we're going to see what's good on the next one. But yeah, you know, just going back to my profits over here, this is what I made for this morning already. It's only been like 20 minutes. I took 2 scalps right here. I made about 4,000 total. For this one, I made 2,290. For this one, I made 2,090. So we'll keep it going, guys. But yeah, basically this strategy is the same one that we've been applying, I mean, pretty much every day, the snipe strategy. The other strategy is going to be Josh's strategy right here. Actually, there's another entry here for Josh's strategy if anyone wants to enter this. Damn, there's so many entries available right now. Shoot, I'm like tempted to enter it, but whatever, I'm gonna enter it. All right, so I'm in that position too. But I might be basing it off this one over here. Let's see, where's TP at? 33, 36. I mean, it's about the same thing. But these are like risky trades to take right now because of, damn, there's like a bunch of entries here. See, it might retrace up a little bit because it has to reach up for the 3 minute on this side. But we'll see how it plays out. Yeah, because there's entries here for the 10 minute. There's also entries for the 3 minute, and there's also entries for the. So I might base my entry off the 10 minute over here actually, because it's a better range. So let me just see what's the difference between these parameters here. These parameters are only off by, or I already said TP stop loss. Yeah, so I'm probably going to base my trade off this one right here, because this is the actual 10 minute. this is what we actually follow. And then we'll see where it goes from there. So it's only 7 o'clock, guys. Market literally just opened. So we got some time to look at this here. But anyways, going back to the strategies that I was mentioning, this is a CT's snipe strategy that we use for K2. He uses 15-minute zones and 3-minute for the entry. This is the original snipe strategy. It's off the 10-minute. We use 10-minute zones and 10-minute entries. And then lastly, this is going to be Josh's. This one's a little more riskier because it's on the short time frame and he goes off different things. But this is Josh K2, I guess 3-minute US 30 3-minute scalp strategy. So for this one, you just want to confirm a K2 signal, K2 momentum signal to be exact. K2 momentum signal. Second, you want to confirm signal candle crosses pivot 2, 3, or 4. It's gonna be 2A. And then lastly, you just want to confirm 2B. Yeah, and this is why it's risky. This is why I don't really like taking the 3-minute. I prefer to take the 10-minute over here. So I'm basing my trade off the 10-minute over here because I entered late anyways at the actual entry point right here. So this is going to be the actual entry right here. If it's stop loss, it's fine because I already have 2 wins for this morning. So it's not like, you know, I basically just threw one of the wins away, which is okay. Yeah, I mean, it happens sometimes. So let me see what else we have here. Oh, the third requirement. 2B, if 2A doesn't happen, confirm signal candle. Signal candle is above, below all K2 pivots. All right, so that's pretty much it right there. That's a strategy for Josh's. This is a strategy for the original snipe. And this is going to be the 15-minute strategy right here. So we'll see how these play out. If this ends up rejecting off this zone right here, this is actually going to provide for another entry. So we'll see how this plays out right here, or this might be a buy actually if this ends up closing. So these are going to be a little conflicting right here. If this happens right here, I'm probably going to switch. I'm going to side with the buy instead. So I'm going to set this up. We got about 2 minutes left on this candle because it looks like price is starting to swing back. So if that becomes the case, I'll just take the buy here because it's going to provide an entry right here. Let me go on the 15 to make sure these zones are proper. Yeah, the zones are good. Go back on the 3-minute. Let's wait for this entry right here. Still got 2 minutes left. It's a lot of time on this clock. This is another entry for buy here as well for Josh's 3-minute. That looks pretty solid for the most part. This would be a sell for the 10-minute. This is like risky here because there's entries from both ways. For on the 15-minute, so it just depends on how lucky you are, right? If you take a 15-minute entry, this would be a buy. If you take the 10-minute entry, this might be a sell. So we'll see. But we're doing pretty good so far today. I'm just gonna wait for this to close. We got about, I might flip to the buy if that becomes the case. We got a minute left on this candle, but we got to see how this candle right here closes. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's gonna close for the 10, so it's probably gonna be a buy. So if this ends up for a buy, I'm just gonna flip it from the other side. I'll take the loss for the 10-minute over here, and I'll just I'll swing back on this one over here. So this is gonna be the we got about 40 seconds left on this, and I'm still net positive for the day. I'm up 4,000. So if I have one loss, that's only like about 2,000 or less. So it's not really a big deal. I should have just closed the trade earlier when I was up when I was at 1,500, but I'm getting better with just letting the trade run because I always end up closing it too early anyways when it plays out. So we got 20 seconds left on this candle right here. We'll be waiting for this to play out over here. And this is going to go against the other position. I'll let both of them run. So either way, one of them is going to have to play out. So yeah, this is going to be a scalp right here using the 15-minute for K2 Snipe Strategy. So I might take that buy there. Or I'm currently in the buy right here. So this is probably going to hit a stop loss on the 10-minute, which is fine. It's a give or take game. You have to go back and forth with it. So we'll see where this plays out. Depending on which one you're in. If you're in the 10-minute, this would be the 10-minute. If you're using the 15-minute, this would be the 15-minute. So this is why it's important that you guys use proper risk management so that you guys can take multiple positions and you don't have to get trapped in just one position. Especially for scalps, you guys have to be very versatile with your scalps because you never know when market's going to flip on you, which tends to happen pretty often. So if you guys are using at least like 1% risk or less, you should be fine because it's going to cover your trade either way. Like if you lose 1%, you just win 1% on the next trade. So yeah, I'm basically hedging at this point because I'm taking two positions. I'm taking a sell and I'm taking a buy for this one over here. If this hits stop loss, it's fine because this will hit TP. If this hits stop loss, it's fine because this will hit TP. So it's basically a win-win for me here. Let's see, a couple messages here. Yeah, so we'll wait and see how this plays out. You got two positions running right now. We'll come back and take a look at that. Let me check the chat real quick and see who's in here now. So let's see. We got Neptune here. Morning, Neptune. Morning, Matt. Morning, Wilton. What do you mean, Wilton? Wilton said, can you show 15-minute? Trying to figure out what you're asking, Wilton. Yeah, Wilton, if you could be a little more specific with your question, I can answer it. I'm not sure what you mean by show 15-minute. Like, you just want to see a 15-minute chart? Do you want to see a different pair on the 15-minute? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Hey, how's it going, Jay? Jay said, I had to come and see what all these profits are about. Definitely, bro. Let's see who else is here. Hey, Kyle, how's it going? Hey, Dave. Dave said, can you tell me where I need to go to get in early? I need to go to Instagram. I mean, everyone gets the link at the same time, Dave. I'm not sure where you're missing it. I mean, the way to get it the fastest is to like the YouTube streams, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and turn on your notifications. Because whenever I go live, and I go live the same time every day, so you shouldn't really be missing the live sessions anyways, because it's the same time every day. But if you do subscribe and turn on your notifications, YouTube will send you an email whenever I go live, and I go live about 3 to 5 times a day. So if you turn that on, you should be good to go, Dave. Dave mentioned, I've also been watching the US 30 trade on a 10-minute chart with a trend indicator and SRNDs too, but didn't see any setup with that setup. So Dave, I mean, the strategy is very simple. You just confirm a wick rejection off a K2 pivot. There's a wick rejection right here. Same with this right here. I mean, there's like 3 entries that are available. 1, 2, 3, 4 actually. There's 4 entries available. You just look for a wick rejection off a K2 pivot and a wick rejection off the K2 SR zone. I don't think you've watched all the videos yet, Dave, because this is a different strategy. I think you might be mixing something. You might be mixing a different strategy with what we're applying here, because these are like, there's a bunch of entries here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then here on the 10-minute. So the stop loss hit off the 10-minute, which is fine. We're still in this 15-minute one right here, so we're gonna let this run. And then for the 10-minute, there's a bunch of entries here as well, Dave. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 5 right here. And then same for the 3-minute right here. There's a lot of entries here as well. So I think you need to go back and watch the videos, Dave. I don't think you understand the strategy yet. And that'll probably give you some clarity as to, what to look for, because we don't use a trend meter for this strategy. And you said that you use the trend indicator, which we don't use. So, maybe go back and rewatch the videos, because I think you might be confusing yourself with a different strategy. But yeah, Dave, definitely. All the videos are going to be on the website. So if you guys are on the K2 website, all the videos that are there explaining. So it'll give you a breakdown of, how everything's applied. See, Kirsten wants me to take a look at EG. So I'll take a look at EG. I'll add that to the list. Damn, US 30 is about to be melting now. I wonder what's going on in the market. Let me see if is there news this morning? Oh, there was news at 7. My bad. So yeah, I forgot about this right here, guys. We had consumer confidence at 7 o'clock about 5 minutes ago. So that's probably what's pushing price around right now. But we'll see how it plays out. Totally forgot we had news right here. It's medium news. It was actually positive. So you'd assume the US 30 would be pushing up, but it hasn't pushed up right here. This over here. Let me check CNBC real quick. I don't think there's anything here to really affect it. Yeah, there's not really much news here at all. Ten-year treasury hits. I guess the bond market's kind of affecting US 30 as well. Let's see if there's anything else over here. Yeah, I don't really see much news aside from the consumer confidence. That's all that I see. Other than that, I don't really see anything else right now. That's pretty much it for now. So other than that, let me just go back to the chat real quick and see what else we're missing over here. So this 10-minute is done. Yeah, this is where it becomes risky because the 10-minute entries are now they're now mixing with the 15-minute entries over here. So I think at this point we might take a break with entering new trades, and then we're probably just going to wait until something smoothens out because we're getting buys over here on the 15-minute, and then we're getting sells over here on the 10-minute. So this is starting to be a little risky here because there is a sell entry that's available right there. And we're currently in this buy here off the 15. So it's all right if this hits stop loss too, because we're still up for the day. Let me see. Yeah, overall still up. If this hits stop loss, it's gonna wipe out my profits for today though. So I'm pretty much gonna be back at break even, unfortunately. But it happens, guys. It's a back and forth game. So even if it does hit stop loss, it's all good because then we're gonna bounce back off the next one. So it did hit stop loss for me as well. It's all good. Damn, I literally threw away all my profits this morning. Okay, US 30 is starting to act a little funky now. So usually it starts to move like in one direction, but now it's moving kind of funky because it's going in both directions now. So I wiped out my profits from this morning, which is fine. I mean, it happens. And that's just me being 100% transparent with you guys, right? This game isn't 100%. You can't win every single trade. But with that said, there's going to be another sell entry here. I'm probably not going to take it. I'm going to wait for the market to stabilize a bit because it looks like stuff is just going sideways at this point. But if you do want to take this trade right here, this is going to be another sell scalp right here using this one over here. So yeah, US 30 is going kind of, it's just whipsawing back and forth. And it sucks because our stop loss is kind of tight. So it generally hits our stop loss before it even gets to the target. So actually, I might take the sell with you guys. I'm going to take it for a sell this way. Or we'll see. We'll see how this closes. But like I mentioned, this is going to be probably an at your risk trade because like I mentioned, the market is going back and forth right now. There's no real direction that's being set. And the issue with this is that it might hit your stop loss before it hit your TP because it's just going back and forth. As you guys can see right here, this range is like 800 pips, 840 pips, and your stop loss is only 50 pip or 500 pips. So the problem with this is it might trigger your stop loss. Like it might go up, hit your stop loss, and then come back down just like it did right now. So if you guys want to take this trade, it's going to be at your risk. So there's an entry right there off the 15. And there's also, I'll probably wait for this 10 minutes to close right here before I take that entry. I think the 10-minute would probably be safer. Yeah, because look at that, shooting right back up. I'm not going to take any trades right now, guys. I'm going to hold off for a bit. I'm waiting for the market to smoothen out a bit because there was news just now at 7 o'clock. So this is probably pushing price around. I forgot there was news at 7. Usually when there's news, you should just sit out because volatility it pushes price back and forth. But if you guys want to take this trade, I'll give it to you guys. I'm just going to sit out of the market though until it starts to smoothen out because I don't want to get caught in any more whipsaws. So we got about 20 seconds left on this candle right here. When this does close, then you guys can take it. All right, we got about 6 seconds left on this candle right here. Like I mentioned, this is an at your risk trade, guys. If you guys want to take it, feel free to take it. If not, I'm personally going to sit out for a bit. Or am I going to hop in? I don't know. I'm like tempted to hop in, but I know I shouldn't because the market is just the market is just way too choppy right now. So people keep asking me to put the scalps in the chats. I can't do it, guys. If you guys watch these live sessions, by the time I post a scalp signal in the premium channel, like we're already out of the trade. So what I recommend is, just learn the strategy. You don't have to trade the strategy during New York session. You can trade it like at any time of the day. But like I mentioned, guys, this is one entry here that's available for the 10-minute, but I'm going to sit out right now. I already wiped out this morning's profits because we took some risky scalps here off these. Unfortunately, the market is now just going back and forth. There was news that just happened a few minutes ago, this consumer confidence news. It was positive, but it was weird because it was positive. Like the previous was 90, it went up to 109, but then US 30 ended up spiking down. And then here you go, it's spiking right back up to where it was supposed to be, right? Because it was supposed to go up from that news. It's just having a late reaction. So I wouldn't take these trades. Well, I mean, I told you guys it's at your risk trade. And you guys can see these big spikes right here because I didn't take any of these trades here with you guys. I'm just waiting for this stuff to smoothen out. And then I'm going to start looking for some trades after. Yeah, see, check it out, guys. It's just whipsawing. It's going back and forth. It goes down, then it goes up. And the problem is our stop loss is too tight. So it could bounce, back and forth between this area, hit stop loss, and then come all the way back down. And that's why I'm not going to trade right now. I'm going to wait for it to stabilize, wait for it to go directional, because obviously it's not directional right now, right? I want it to be directional like this right here. Like I want it to be trending up, and I want it to be trending down smoothly, not where it's just going sideways, because technically it's just going sideways right here right now between these two areas. So we'll wait for a bit, probably like another like 30 minutes to an hour, and then I think the market should smoothen out by then. Let me see if there's anything else going on today. Let's see. Yeah, I don't really see anything here on CNBC. So I don't see anything else that's really, pushing price around. But obviously, you can see here, US 30 spiking around a lot. Even when there's no news, sometimes it has a late reaction to the news from this morning, which it might be it, because I don't see anything else here that's necessarily. I don't see anything else here that's like necessarily pushing price around. All right, so we're good right here off this. But yeah, no, this is gonna be a risky trade. Well, so what might happen here is this might provide another sell entry right here. And then if that happens, it might have an even bigger push down. Because you guys can see here, obviously when it keeps having like multiple rejections off the zones, like for example, right here, a couple of rejections right there. Right here was like 3 rejections. It indicates that it's trying to push off, but it's not really having much luck. Because like I mentioned, the news over here, this news was positive for the market. So with that said, US 30 should have pushed up, but it was pushing down. And that's why I decided not to take these trades. Because they're just, yeah, David, I got trapped, bro. So David's in the chat right now. He said, good luck today. Remember, it's Trap Tuesday. Yeah, David, I had 2 big wins in the beginning. Right when the session started, I made like 4,300. And then I just lost it all right now off these 2 other scalps because I got trapped in the movement. So, I mean, it's all good. I think I'm still in profit slightly right now. Let's see. Yeah, I'm still slightly in profit. I'm like around break even, so it's all right for the day. But I will be just waiting for this to, close out for this point. But right here, if this ends up closing below here again, like how it is right now, it's going to provide for another sell entry. So with like a bunch of tests right there for sell entries, you know, it's probably going to provide for another entry point right here, even for the 15-minute. So we have another entry right here. I'm just going to show you guys another entry point right here. If this closes red, then it's going to be another entry for a sell. Same with the 10-minute right here. If this closes below here, or if it closes red, it's going to be another entry point for a sell as well. David said, damn, I smacked London and I'm done. Bro, I should have just chilled after the first 2 trades. I just saw too many good entries here. And, you know, obviously I don't want to let the trades run because everyone's been locking a ton of profit this week. So it's been pretty good for the most part. Let's see. Nice. Yeah. So it looks like a lot of you guys did make profit so far today. So David made about 285 on his account. Let's see. C-Soup made about 1,596. So it looks like a lot of people here have been doing pretty good overall. You know, just looking at everyone's profits this morning, C-Soup made 1,596. David made 285. Jonathan made 1,311. Spencer over here made 1,435, and then Steven over here made a couple pennies last night. So yeah, it looks like everyone's been doing pretty good overall today so far. Even myself, you know, as long as I'm not in the negative, that's what really matters. It's not really, I don't really go for the big profits anymore because I already know what I'm going to make daily. You know, each trade I'm risking about like maybe 1,000, 2,000. So as long as I'm net positive, I should be in positive like maybe 1,000 or so. So it's not a big deal if I lose a trade or if I win a trade. It's part of the game. So here's the US 30 right here. It's now dropping. Like I mentioned, if it closes red or drops below here, it's going to provide for another sell entry. And it's already tested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times right here. Same with the 15-minute. This has been testing these areas right here for quite some time. So we'll see where this plays out. But other than that, I can take a look at the chat now since we're, you know, I'm kind of taking it easy right now until we have some better entries available because I'm not trying to hop into any more risky trades. Josh's entry over here hit TP actually. So Josh's entry over here hit TP. I'm just going to give you guys an update over here. So as you guys can see, you know, I'm 100% transparent with you guys. We did hit 2 stop losses for the US 30. So I'm going to give you guys an update that it hit stop loss. So stop loss hit for the US 30 Snipe Scalp for negative 500 session. Because this is like one thing that a lot of people don't show you. They don't show you that the game's back and forth. Like sometimes people just show you just wins, but it's not always just wins. It's, you know, sometimes you have to lose. It's like impossible to be 100%. So I do give you guys updates when we do lose too, which is fine. I mean, it does happen, and you guys have to understand that. Like, I feel like a lot of people take an unrealistic approach, and they think that, you know, it's possible to like never lose. In some situations, we don't lose. Like we don't lose that often. It's just that sometimes we do, and you know, when we do lose, you got to be real about it. You can't be faking it. All right. So we got that posted there. All right. Other than that, I think we're good for now. So yeah, it looks like everyone over here is kind of hitting some profits. Let me see if there's anything else right here. All right, so there's another entry that's available right there. So whoever took this scalp right here, it looks like it's pushing down in a profit. Same with this one over here. So there's another scalp that's available right here. I'm still going to hold off for a bit because I'm not really trying to hop into any of these scalps because we had a quick win in the beginning, and then now, you know, obviously price is just whipsawing. So the problem with this right here is here, I'll just show you on a different chart. So looking at US 30 on the 10-minute or even the 15-minute, let's see what's like a cleaner chart to look at. Okay, so the 3-minute is probably the best one for us to identify right here. So price is pretty much just whipsawing within this area from when market opened. And this is why I don't really want to take trades right now, because there's no specific direction, right? It's just going back and forth. Came down here, came up here, Now it's coming back down here, but we don't know when it's going to reverse. So like this can literally come down to here, or it can reverse at any point right here to finally break above and continue higher. So that's why I'm not really messing with it, because it can do that, or it can come down here and just continue dropping further. I want to wait until the direction's been set. So I want it to close either, you know, above here or below here. Once it does that, then I can start taking scalps in that direction. I don't want to be taking trades where it's going to be whipsawing back and forth. So here's the 10-minute entry right here. It looks like it's about to hit TP. So if it does hit TP, congrats to whoever caught it. I mean, you guys are in profit now for whoever caught that trade. But like I mentioned, it was just a risky time to trade, so I didn't take it. So we'll be following it. If it does hit TP, hopefully it does, because then once that happens, we can start looking for some scalps in the other direction towards the downside. So I'm just waiting for it to close below here. If it does close below there, then we can start looking for some sell scalps, because there's a bunch of sell scalps here. But the problem with these trades over here is that they swing up. So the stop loss is kind of tight. So TP is about to hit for this one as well. The moves are kind of tight here. So I'm just going to add some alerts here as well. So we'll just be following this. But yeah, I mean, this is why we were holding off on these trades, because like I mentioned, look how close it got to stop loss, right? If you ended up taking that trade right there, you might have gotten squeezed out. But it's cool, because now that it's dropping down below here, we can start looking for some scalps in this direction. Let me see if there's any new zones here off the 15-minute. No, so it looks like we're good for the most part. All right, so whoever caught this would have, you're basically back in net positive now. I kind of wish I took it now, but it's all right. I would have been mad if this would have hit stop loss and I would have taken it, because I told myself we were going to hold off. But it's all good. I hope it hits, because I wanted to hit for you guys. As long as some of you guys are making profit here, even if I'm not making profit off the trade. Oh, nice. Jasmine just messaged me. She said, I'm still holding on to my sell. Nice, Jasmine. Smart move. Smart move. I should have held on to it too, because it literally just, like, what happened was it literally just tipped the stop loss off this candle right here. It tipped the stop loss, like literally just tipped it. And then it came right back down, right? So, I mean, it sucks, like, for whoever got stuffed out, but there we go. Full TP off the 15-minute. So if you guys caught that, I just hit TP right there off this one over here. This hit TP using the 15-minute strategy for 500 pips. And then looks like the 10-minute is about to hit as well. So we'll keep watching it. Now that it's dropped down below here, we can probably start looking for some sells. I hope it just keeps dropping. And we'll start looking for some sell entries. Also right here, there's another scalp using Josh's strategy right here. So Josh, looks like you're at 3 minutes about to hit TP as well. I'm pretty sure Josh is in this room right now. So Josh, your TP is about to hit. CT, your TP just hit. And then the 10-minute, my TP is about to hit right here as well. So we'll see how this ends up playing out. But yeah, other than that, we'll keep watching. All right, so let me go to the chat real quick. Looks like I missed a lot of messages since we started off here. But yeah, Kirsten, I'll try to look at your EG later if I can. I don't know if we're gonna have time for it, but let's see, Kirsten. But if we do, I'll pull it up for you. Your GBP. And how do you want me to analyze it, Kirsten? Because I know that you like to scalp, so I'm not sure if you want me to analyze it on the 4-hour, if you want me to analyze it from a scalp perspective. If you could be a little more detailed, I can add that to your question. And then once we have some downtime, I'll take a look at EG for you. Nice. Jasmine just sent me her profits. Let's see. There we go. Full TP off the 10-minute scalp right there. So let's see. Yeah, Jasmine looks like, wow, yeah, she said still holding her sell. She made about $30 off that trade right there from this morning. And then she held on to the other sell. She made $50 total this morning. So you guys can see here, congrats, Jasmine. You guys can see here that that it doesn't matter if you have a big account or a small account. You know, you could easily you could easily make a ton of profit in either way. I mean, you're not going to make a lot of profit off a smaller account, but you can make profit either way. So, you know, I'll just give you guys an update in the chat for the guys who want to. It's kind of weird, guys, because sometimes we have people in the group who want an update, and there's some people that are like, why do you give an update? Because some people, they get upset because they missed the trade, but it's like, I'm giving the update so that you guys know what's going on with the scalps here. So I'm going to keep giving updates. If you guys don't like the updates, then just ignore the message, because, you know, everyone wants to be aware when TPs get hit, because sometimes they have trades running and they're not able to follow the charts like we are here live, because a lot of people still work normal jobs. So I'll keep giving updates in the chat. You know, majority of people want the updates, so I'll keep giving them. So if you guys don't want the updates, just ignore the updates. Just don't bother looking at it, or turn off your, like, mute the chat or something like that, so that you don't get the updates like during New York session. So other than that, guys, all right, so it looks like price is still bouncing back and forth. You can see right here, obviously hit TP, and then now it shot all the way up. So it hit TP right here, and then it bounced up a full 600 pips. So it looks like we're probably going to have some possible scalps up here in a little bit. Let me see. Yeah, so your TP hit here too, Josh. So all the TPs hit. Josh's 3-minute scalp hit TP. The 10-minute scalp here earlier hit TP as well. And also the 15-minute scalp right here hit TP. So all TP across all time frames, depending on which strategy you were applying and which one you took. Because I gave you guys entries for all 3 of them right here. So I'll just clean up the chart now, and we'll start looking for some new entries at this point. Yeah, and there's another entry here for the 10 that's probably going to set up right here, but it looks kind of risky. I don't know if I would want to take it. So yeah, we'll start looking for some entries here, and I'll go back through the chat real quick and I'll answer any questions as we wait. So we have about 10 seconds left on this candle. I'm going to see how it closes. And then once it closes, we can determine whether it's going to be an entry or not. We got 3 minutes left on this one, but this one we've got about, okay, there's no entry there. So let me go down the chat, see if there's any questions. All right, let's see. Steven said he missed 2 dubs. Yeah, those moves came pretty quick. Kendra said, morning, Shawn. Morning, Kendra. Wilton said, your strategy goes based off 15-minute entries on the 3-minute. Well, there's 3 different strategies here, Wilton. There's one strategy here, which is 15-minute zones. We draw our K2 SR zones off the 15-minute, and we take our entries off the 3-minute. Our other strategy here is it's directly off the 10-minute. So we don't go off different time frames for this one. And for this one over here, this is Josh's 3-minute strategy. For this, we use the momentum signal. We don't use the zones. So there's 3 different strategies that are being used here for our scalps every morning. But yeah, if you're talking about the 15-minute, what we do is we basically draw our zones. So if I zoom out from this point, there's no zones on the chart. I turn on the K2 SR indicator. These are the zones that we draw. So the K2 SR indicator draws the zones for us, and then we just draw over them. So as you can see right here, we pretty much just draw our zones right over them. I mean, there's more zones now. There wasn't this many zones last night, but I guess I can just update the zones now so that we have a more updated setup. So let me see, we got this here, this zone right here, this zone right here, this one here, a couple over here, and right over here. All right, so there's all the zones right there. Like I was mentioning, price is kind of bouncing around a lot. So we got another entry that's possibly going to be right now. It's going to be off this one right here for a buy. If you guys want to take it, it's going to be kind of risky. Like I mentioned, price is still bouncing around this area. So I personally will not be taking it. If you guys do want to take it, this is going to be an at your risk trade, like I mentioned before, because it looks like price is still within the range here, right? So the same range that I drew earlier, price hasn't broken above or below it yet. So it's still bouncing around. But if it does close here, this would be a buy entry using the 15-minute strategy. So if you guys want to take it, feel free. If not, I mean, you guys can just hold tight until the next entry. I still find it super risky because it's still bouncing around too much. But yeah, so if you guys want to take that trade, I mean, feel free, but remember it's an at-risk trade. Look at this, like it's too volatile right now. The only reason it's risky because the stop loss is too tight. So this can easily come down, retrace back to fill this gap right here, and then it'll hit stop loss before it shoots up, right? So I'm just gonna wait for the next entry. Now that it's starting to move up smoother, I'll be waiting for the next entry right here because price finally did break above this area. So, or I'm thinking about maybe entering late, like down here to get a better entry. Yeah, so here's the thing. If we get another entry right here where this comes down, rejects off this pivot right here, then I'm gonna hop into that buy. I'm not gonna hop into this one. I'm gonna go for a better entry point. But it looks like it can play out pretty well if it ends up giving a second entry off this point over here. Oh yeah, my bad. So Ivan, thanks for clearing that up. So Ivan said I drew my zones on the 3 minute, not the 15. So let me delete these real quick. Thanks, Ivan. These over here. There we go. Yeah. Let me delete this zone right here too. All right, cool. Yeah, thanks for catching that, Ivan. I didn't realize that I was on the 3. There we go. So we got everything set up right here. I'm gonna go back on the 3. Yeah, there you go. It's currently in profit right now. Now I just popped into that, huh? It's about to hit TP too. It's all good. That's me being careful. So whoever took this trade, you're currently in profit. It looks good so far. This is gonna be the 15-minute scalp, or I'll just put CT scalp. We'll be following it to see when it hits, if and when it does hit. Damn, I should have just taken that trade with you guys. It's a 10-minute strategy right there. And then we have the we got the 3 minute right here as well. So Josh, you have another 3 minute entry right here as well. I'm not sure if you caught this one, but there's a lot of market's super volatile right now. It might be time to hop back into these trades myself. So full TP off that, Josh. If you took your your 3 minute strategy right there, basically we confirmed a K2 momentum signal. We have a momentum signal right here for a buy. It crossed the second, third, and fourth pivot right here, and then that's where you make your entry. So if you guys use Josh's strategy, it would have just hit full TP right there again for 250 pips. So nice work, that Josh. I'm not sure if you caught that. Possibly did. Orange says, I don't see your TP. Yeah, you need the Zoom link to get the better resolution. Orange. So if you guys are on the premium, you guys have the Zoom link. That's how you guys have better resolution. I think it's 1080p on the Zoom. So yeah, other than that, that's pretty much how you would get the higher quality Zoom, guys. So if you guys want the Zoom link to have higher quality and have it real time, because obviously the YouTube is kind of delayed, right? If you guys are on the YouTube, you guys will notice that YouTube is delayed by a few seconds, and that few seconds could be the difference between a win or a loss for you guys copying my scalps here. So if you guys want access to the Zoom link to follow the trades real time and have higher quality video, just go on the website k2trades.com right here, and then you can sign up to either the signals if you just want the Zoom link, or the strategy course if you want to learn this strategy that we're applying. Because everyone here knows this strategy on their own. Like everyone in K2 knows this actual strategy, and that's pretty much how everyone's locking in their own profits here. Like Jasmine, she made these profits because I call these trades. But Sisuk over here, Sisuk took like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 trades. So Sisuk took 17 trades on his own because he knows the strategy. So he made 1,596 because he's doing the strategy on his own. Vice versa. Same with David over here. He does well on his own as well. Jonathan over here, he takes these other scalps on his own. And it just depends on like if you guys want to learn the strategy or if you guys just want access to the Zoom link to copy my scalps real time, because YouTube is a little delayed. So other than that, let me scroll down the chat real quick and see what else we're looking for. Let me scroll up real quick. Down a little bit. Nice. I just saw your message, Jasmine. He goes asking, please subtitle Shawn. I have difficulties to understand all you're doing. We're still working on that, Hugo. I got too many videos to put subtitles on. I go on live 3 or 5 times a day. I don't have time to go and put subtitles on every single video. So unfortunately, I mean, we'll have to work on that, but it's not our priority right here. We're here to make money. We're not here to really work on admin stuff. So I'll try to figure out someone that can do subtitles, Hugo, but I don't think it's going to happen because I go live too many times a day. And these videos I go live for like 5 hours a day. So I don't think someone's going to want to do subtitles for 5-hour videos, like 3 to 5-hour videos a day. Right. It's just too much. It's too much work on their end. So we'll see, Hugo's. If I do have subtitles, I'll let you know, but I don't think it's going to happen realistically, like for now. It's not our priority. You know, we're here to make profits rather than working on that stuff. But I'll try to work on it, Hugo. So I'll try to make that work. If it doesn't work, I'll let you know. Anyways, back to US 30 right here. There's no entries that are available, so it's perfectly fine. I can go down to questions now. Looks like market kind of died down, right? So as you can see right here, each candle is moving like 800 pips, like 700 pips right there, 740. This one over here shot up like 1,150 pips. And then now this current candle right here is only moving about 400 pips. So market volatility is starting to slow down a bit right here. And as it slows down, market will start to stabilize a bit. So going back over here to what I mentioned, if you guys see the clean chart that I drew earlier, basically right here, we were waiting for price to break above or below one of these structures. As soon as it broke above here, looks like it's going for a retest of the structure before it shoots back up even further. So as it starts to develop a direction, we can start taking scalps, you know, with a bias, because we didn't have a bias before. So we were kind of trading back and forth. But now that price is now setting a direction, we can start scalping in that direction. So we'll be waiting for that. And, you know, other than that, let me go down the chat and see what else we have over here. Let's see, Mr. Igelt said the zones are different from mine. I do have currency.com. The zones are different because these are all drawn on different time frames, Mr. Igelt. So this is 3-minute, this is the 10-minute, and this is the 15-minute zones. So zones are totally different on each one here. We have the 15-minute zones, we have the 10-minute zones, and then we have the 3-minute zone. Well, we don't even have zones on this one. It's just based off momentum. So that already hit TP. That's why I took it off, guys. This hit TP right there on that following candle. So Josh, if you took that trade, it looks like you hit TP. Other than that, that's the difference between the 3 different charts that we're using here. See, I'm glad I didn't take that trade that I was telling you guys about earlier. It's just too risky right now still. Price is just bouncing back and forth at this time. So it's not really a safe time to just hop into trades. So I'm glad I sat out of that. Now I'm just going to chill and wait for direction to be set before we hop into anything new. All right, let me scroll down real quick. Spooky said, yesterday I said I was 8% down my funding talent challenge. I just made 2% back with that first drop. Sold it out 33,223. Nice, Spooky. Hashim's asking, you think DAX is going to continue up? So I'll add your questions to the list over here. So first we have your GBP for Kirsten. We have Hashim for DAX 30. And then we have Spooky for gold. Renee said, why do you take trades on multiple time frames with multiple direction? In my opinion, that was just dumb. Not necessarily. We made profits both ways, Renee. I mean, if you know how to trade, you can trade in both directions. Obviously, if you're a linear trader and you only know how to trade one way, then you won't know what we're doing here. So it's really up to, you. If you're a skillful trader, you can trade both directions. Like we took buys and sells in both ways. Looking at everyone's profits here, we take trades in both directions, bro. It doesn't matter if it's like for our first profits this morning, we took both a buy and a sell, right? Jasmine made profit for a buy and for a sell. So if you're a skilled trader, you can trade in both directions. You don't have to trade one direction. But if you're not a skilled trader and you don't know what you're doing, then obviously you're only going to trade in the direction of the trend, right? So that's what makes different traders different. If you're skilled or if you're not skilled, that's how you'll be deciding, which direction to be trading in. So not necessarily a good or a bad thing. It's just if you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing. If you don't, then you're going to be confused and you won't know what we're doing here. Yeah. So like Cisic over here said, Poof, I took both directions. Exactly. So, I mean, if you guys don't know what you're doing, then obviously you're going to be confused. You're going to be like, oh, why are they trading buys and sells? If you know what you're doing, then you know exactly what we're doing here. But yeah, I mean, there's no one way to trade. Renee, there's, obviously there's different ways to trade. There's different strategies. Like for this would be the 15-minute strategy. That's why some of them would be going one direction, 10-minute would be going the other way. But it just depends on what strategy you're applying, because there's no one strategy to apply. It's the same with like people who trade like 1 and 3 risk to reward. You don't have to trade a 1 to 3. You can trade a 1 to 1 like we do and still be way more profitable than most other people. So, it just really depends on how you trade or what your trading style is. You don't have to just trade for buys every single time or just for sells every single time. All right, so let's see if there's anything else over here real quick. Kushi said, does the end of month affect US 30? Well, I mean, it's NFP. It's actually the beginning of the month, Kushi. So this is NFP week. That's why market kind of moves kind of weird. So NFP week is here on Friday. I mean, NFP does come out on Friday. So it's NFP all week. That's why you'll see a lot of whipsaws and you'll see a lot of traps being set up, because a lot of people are betting on the market, whether it's going to go up or whether it's going to go down. So I wouldn't necessarily say the end of the month. I would say the beginning of the month. But this week overlaps. So it's March 30th, but the end of the month ends on April 2nd. So they're going to be releasing unemployment data right here. So yes, at the end of the month, at the beginning of the month, it does affect the market. The end of the month, not necessarily specifically if that's what you're focusing on. Here, let's see if there's anything else real quick before we continue. How's it going, Lee? He said his first time here. Nice, bro. Glad to have you on. Let's see. Neptune said, fam, I'm done for the day. Market's crazy today. Yeah, I mean, it's still crazy right now. We're just waiting for it to smoothen out before we take trades, because it's still bouncing around. Like, for example, right here, we got to see if this plays out. If this plays out bullish, then we're going to start looking for some buys. Vice versa, if it swings down here, we might look for some sells. But until then, there's going to be a lot of back and forth movement. Like, for example, right here, if this candle closes within the zone, this is going to be really risky, because there's going to be an entry from above here and an entry from below here. So yeah, just keep that in mind. To Kirsten said, I don't scalp. I was wondering why BXY is going down. So is EXY. I thought I should go sideways, but it is going up on the 4-hour. Had a breaking close below structure and retest and reversed on the upside on the 4-hour time frame zone trading. Yeah, I'll take a look at that in a little bit, Kirsten. So I have your number 1 on the list, Kirsten. So once I get down this chat, I'll look at EG for you first. Yik said, love what you do, man. Thank you very much. Definitely, Yik. Herb said, you drew. Oh yeah, okay. So thanks for confirming that for me, Herb and Ivan. I did draw the zones on the wrong time frame earlier. All right. Other than that, I think that's about it. Neptune said, my losing streak is finally over, guys. Thank you, Shawn. I know I'm a headache. This is the best group ever. No, definitely Neptune. I know you had like a rough patch yesterday, but I'm glad that you bounced back today, this morning, taking my 2 trades. I mean, that's what it really is, guys. Like, I got to keep reminding you guys that this, like, trading is a back and forth game. You're not always going to have, unlimited wins. You're going to have losses here and there, but as long as you manage your risk properly, it shouldn't be a problem. So, all right, I'm done with the questions here real quick. The next question I have is for Kirsten. She wants me to take a look at Euro GBP. So if you go to Euro GBP over here, I'm going to take everything off the chart and I'll show you guys how I analyze things from scratch. So I'm gonna zoom out from here. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw market structure. So in order to draw market structure, I'm gonna turn on the K2 SR indicator right here. And once we have that drawn up, I'm gonna draw my zones right over the K2 SR zones. So we got one zone right there. We got another zone right there. We got another zone right here. A zone over here. And these zones are kind of relevant because price is so far off, but I'm only doing this to show you guys market structure so that you guys can see exactly, when price goes from different market structure to market structure. Because it's really important. If you guys are able to identify this market structure, you guys will know exactly where to focus. Because I feel like a lot of people focus on the wrong things when they trade. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that a lot of people don't realize things. So let me just get this lower zone over here. And it's hard to tell, like, honestly, drawing this market structure it's not an easy task unless you really know what you're doing. And that's why I created this indicator to make it easy for you guys. They're like training wheels showing you guys where to draw market structure. So once I have that drawn up, I'm going to zoom out from this point. As you can see right here, I can split up different market structures. So you can see, for example, price broke into this zone over here from this point. So broke into this area right here. And you can see that this market structure was pretty much up until here. So this whole area right here, you can see that this is market structure from like January 14 up until February 3rd. And then from this point over here, this is new market structure right here. So for example, this area right here, this was market structure from February 4th up until February 14. And then same situation right here, price breaks into the structure. It comes down, then bounces back up. This becomes a new market structure right over here within this area. So currently, just looking at current price, you can see that price has never, like within this area, if I just focus in this area right here, this is current market structure. So as you can see right here, price broke into this structure on, let's see, May 4th or March 4th, actually. So from March 4th up until today, March 30th, price hasn't broken outside of this area. So if I take off this zone right here, I can just turn this off and you can see that price has just been bouncing between this zone and this zone down here, right? It's just going back and forth. So this is what's important. Important is that we just focus within this area right here. And then from this point, this is how we identify, where we'll be trading. So once we have this set up here, the next thing we're going to do is turn on our momentum indicator. And obviously right here, we have a bearish momentum, right? The reason for that is because we have a sell signal right here. So in this point, our bias is going to be for a sell. We have a rejection from this point up here. We have a sell right here. Turn this back off. So with that said, we're only looking for sells at this point. The only problem with this here is that it's currently at the daily support. So at this point over here, price can, it broke structure. It rejected off here. And one of two things can happen at this point. Price can either reject off this point and come back down because it looks like it's rejecting off right here, or price can continue to push up from here. So Kirsten, you were wondering why price reversed from this area. It's because it's at the daily support. So, you have to make sure to draw your other zone. So for example, if you didn't have this zone right here, you wouldn't have known that it was at the daily support. But since you have to get the lower zone. You can't always have like an empty area here, because if you have an empty area here, you're not going to know where the rejection points are, right? But if you did have this area right here, you would know exactly that price was going to reject off this point right here. So I think that's one of the mistakes that you probably made, Kirsten. You probably didn't draw a lower zone, right? Because I'm assuming you took a trade when it was like down here. You probably identified this, and then you're like, oh, this is a sell, right? Because this happened, let's see. Or actually, you might have taken the other one over here because you said that you took this recently. So if you took this last night, this would have been the entry that you were looking at right here, right? This is a trade that you would have avoided because it's so close to this support right here. So I think this is where you kind of messed up. You entered a sell position here, but you failed to identify the lower zone. The reason why we'd skip this right here is because, as you can see, if you enter to sell here, it's only 8 pips. You have an 8 pip move right here. Your spread's going to be about 2 or 3 pips. So you're going to have to identify that, you're not going to have enough space here to catch any profit, because it's just going to bounce off the same zone right here. Kirsten's asking, where did you get the lower zone from? It's not showing on my charts. It's from the daily over here. So if you turn on the K2 SR, and if you guys follow what I've been, I've always reminded you guys, if you guys can't find a zone on the 4 hour, because there's no zone here, right? You have to find a zone. There's always going to be a zone below there, especially for Forex, because Forex is a ranging asset. So it goes back and forth. So for example, here, there's no zone below here on the 4 hour. You go on the 8 hour. It's on the daily. So if you go on the daily here, not the daily, the weekly actually. Sorry, there you go. So as you can see there, as long as you go higher and higher on the time frames, that's where you'll find the next zone. So if you're on the 4 hour here, just because there's no zone here doesn't mean there's no lower zone. You have to go in the higher time frames. There's nothing on the 8 hour. There's nothing on the daily. And this is even a bigger reason for you not to take this trade, because this is the weekly support. Weekly support's really strong, obviously, right? The higher time frame you go, the stronger the support. So obviously right there, that's where you would get that zone from, Kirsten. So I think that's what you missed out on. You didn't identify the lower zone, which is required, because you always need a ceiling and you need a floor. Because if you don't identify the ceiling and the floor, you're not going to know where price is going to be rejecting from. So if you identified the support right here, you would have seen that this is a very, very strong support. Because if you go back, let me go to the weekly. You can see that this support has been tested a lot of times. It's been tested back in 2019, again in 2020 right here. It's a strong support zone. So if you had that below there, that would have identified that, you probably should have been careful around this area. Plus there's just not enough space. There's only like 8 pips within this area right here. It's all good, Kirsten. It's a common mistake that people make, because sometimes this is what will happen. People will just trade on the 4 hour and they won't realize that, they'll think that they'll only go up to the daily. I've seen this happen a lot. Like people go on the 4 hour, they're like, oh, there's no zone there. The 8 hour, there's no zone there. And they go to the daily and they're like, oh, there's no zone here. So there's probably no zone, right? But if you go on the higher time frames, like the weekly, you'll see that there's, one down there. And then again, over here, if you go on the monthly, there's even more zones down here as well. So just quick fix to that, Kirsten. I'm glad that you cleared that up so that you don't make the same mistake next time. So other than that, we still have a bearish bias here, Kirsten. So if this does come back down, I would wait for it to close below this zone. So I'd wait for it to close below here. And then this is where I would take the sell off this point over here. All right, anyways, back to US 30. Let me check real quick to see what's going on here. Yeah, see, this is why I don't take this trade here, because price is still really choppy. So hopefully you guys are like chilling, like how most of us are here. There's a lot of indication that price is really choppy now. The pivots are starting to cross over a lot, as you guys can see right here. This is just a lot of choppiness. If we turn off the candles, you can see that the pivots are crossing over a lot. That means that price is choppy right now. Same with here on the 10-minute. It's getting pretty choppy. Let me go back on that clean chart, and I'm going to go ahead and draw the hey Josh, your strategy is still hitting though. So this is why we use different time frames, guys, because on the 3-minute, like if we don't find something on the 15-minute, we go down to the 10-minute. If we don't find something on the 10-minute, we use Josh's 3-minute strategy here. And all these strategies are totally different. So they don't overlap. I mean, sometimes they do overlap each other, but most of the time they're pretty separate. So Josh, if you took this entry here off your 3-minute, we confirm a K2 momentum signal. There's a red signal right here. We confirm that the signal crosses pivot 2, 3, or 4. It crossed 4 and 3 right here. So with that said, it's a sell entry here for you, Josh, if you decided to take this one. So like I mentioned, guys, if you guys want to learn the strategy, it's available to you guys. This is Josh's 3-minute strategy. He's a K2 member. He's been with us for like about a year now. And, you know, he understands the indicator. So he was able to create his own strategy. And, you know, thankfully he decided to help us out and he decided to share the strategy with us. So this is a strategy that Josh has been using on the 3-minute and he's been doing pretty well off it as well. If you guys are in the premium, you guys will see here that there's quite a few people here who apply his strategy. So if I go to Josh, and Josh gives pretty detailed analysis too. If you guys look at Josh's posts, he let me see where he sends his his charts. Like for example here, see Josh will send his charts and he'll give his breakdown of how everything works. Because this isn't a strategy that I created. This is just one that I follow because everyone else follows it as well. Let me see if Josh has he has a lot of markups here that he sends out to us. I'm just trying to figure out where, see, like he'll send a markup like this. He'll have some rules here. He changes his rules from time to time. And this is like one that he uses. He has like a 100% win rate off this day right here. I think this was from last week. So if you guys are in K2, you guys can collaborate with everyone else in K2, and then you can learn the strategies that everyone's applying. So if you want to learn the strategy, just go on the website k2trades.com and click on K2 strategy course right here, where you'll have access to the K2 indicators and all the strategies that we're applying. So nice work off this, Josh. I'm not sure if you caught this. I think you're here in the chat. Yeah, I don't see you here right now, but I think you are here somewhere in the chat. All right, let me go down the chat real quick, and I'm going to see if there's anything else that I missed. Yeah, Steven said market is moving like a roller coaster. That's why we're sitting out the market right now. I'm just waiting for direction to be set. Once direction's set, then we can start taking scalps. Like for example, here, price is obviously in a downtrend, right? But it doesn't mean price can just swing. It doesn't mean that it won't swing back up at any point. So that's why we're waiting for direction to be set. Once direction's set, we can start taking scalps in that direction. So other than that, yeah, other than that, I don't see anything here on the 15-minute. I also don't see anything here on the 10-minute. So I'll keep going down the questions for now as we continue. So Hashim wants me to take a look at the DAX 30. So I'll analyze the DAX 30 for you guys here, and I'll show you that my analysis works on everything. It's not just Forex. So I'll pull up the DAX 30 right here, take everything off the chart. I usually analyze the indices on the 1 hour. So looking at the DAX 30 right here, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the K2 SR indicator to identify market structure. Damn, market structure is like crazy now. It's so high. So I'll just draw this right here. And once this is done, I'm gonna go on a different time frame to grab the other zones, because it's important that we identify all of the nearby zones, or at least identify a ceiling. I think price is at an all-time high right now. So the problem with that is I don't think we're gonna have a ceiling. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have one up there. Yeah, so looking at the DAX right here, I'm just going to draw my own zone, my makeshift zone right here, because it's at an all-time high, I believe, right? Yeah, it is at an all-time high. So this analysis might not work well here because, well, I mean, it'll work well, obviously, but you guys can see here that there is market structure that was developed all throughout the time. Like, for example, here, early March, let's see, this would be market structure right here when price broke into this area. And then when it finally broke above it, this would be market structure right here. Vice versa, price swings up to here, comes back down right here. I would consider this market structure right here. It breaks back into this area. And you guys can see that once you have these zones drawn up, you guys can easily, pick apart the market. Like you can dissect which area where there's market structure. So it's like a sideways market, shoots up, sideways market, and then here's a bullish market right here. So from this point right here, this is probably what's of importance. We could probably just cut this off right here because this was a bullish move prior to this one. And then now this is going to be the new movement right here. So at this point, the DAX can do one of two things. So I'll zoom in a little bit. So just looking at this area here, because this is all that's really important to us right now, price can do one of two things. Price can either push up to this area, close above and establish a new all-time high, and then continue pushing. Or price can reject off this point right here, come back down, and then test this structure down here, right? There's two different scenarios that can play out, and that's the key with identifying these charts. Like when analyzing the charts, you guys have to identify different scenarios. Like scenario number one is price breaks through the zone right here and continues pushing up, right? That's scenario number one. Scenario number two is price can reject off this K2SR structure and then come back down over here. Once it gets down to this point, price can do one of two things as well. So that's when you stack on scenarios. This is scenario number two where price comes down. Once this happens, price can either bounce off here or it can continue dropping, right? So that's how you guys pan out, what you think is going to happen. And when you analyze charts from different perspectives, because like I was mentioning earlier with Renee, like you can't just analyze things from one perspective. Just because price is currently going up doesn't mean it's always going to go up. Price can easily reject off this point and come right back down because there's a huge wick right here. So with that said, that huge wick could be an indication that price is going to be rejecting off this high and it's going to be coming down for a bit before it swings up even higher. So just looking at this right here, this, this high right here can either break or it can either just reject back down. But anyways, looking at this from here, this is going to be the 1 hour analysis for the DAX. From here, we'll go to the 10-minute and we'll see if there was any scalps that were available over here for the DAX. So looking at the DAX here on the 10-minute, looks like, here, let's see, there's a zone right there. There is a zone right there. Zone right there. Let's connect these two right here. And lastly over here, these other zones. So looking at the DAX right here, looks like this morning, let me confirm to see if there was any entries that were available this morning. I don't know if there were any, but no, it doesn't look like there were any entries this morning for the DAX. I mean, they were close, but not necessarily valid. The most recent entry would have been right here at during London session. So applying the same strategy that we were applying earlier, we look for the wick rejection off the pivot and structure. So looking at this over here, if you guys identify this trade over here, there is this, or actually not that one, the next candle. So this red one right here, or this green one, we have a wick rejection off the pivot and structure right there. So with that said, we enter a long position right here. And then we shoot for about, I don't know what the sweet spot is for the DAX. I think it's like 150 ticks. So with that said, if you took that trade, obviously it would have hit full TP right there. But that's the only trade that was available for the DAX this morning. This one right there would have hit full TP, but there's nothing over here. There was one that was close off this candle, but it wasn't necessarily a clean rejection where it qualifies as an entry. So this is pretty much all that we saw here for the DAX. And it can continue pushing up. Like I mentioned, looking on the 1 hour here, if it ends up breaking above here and closing, then it'll probably continue pushing up higher if it passes that all-time high. Vice versa, price can easily come down from this point as well. So it just really depends on where price moves. And you'd have to wait for that confirmation before you take the trade. So that's pretty much it for the DAX right there. Let me go back to US 30 real quick to see if there's anything else that's happened since. Yeah, nothing yet, but there's probably, there might be a sell entry that appears right here in the next 6 minutes or so. There's actually a sell entry that was available right here for the 15-minute, but I'm not sure if anyone wants to take that. Like I mentioned, it's still kind of choppy right now and risky to take these trades. So I'm probably going to sit out for a bit until I feel comfortable. But if you guys want to take this 15-minute entry, just like I mentioned, this is an at your risk trade, but I don't recommend taking it. I'm just going to mark it up for you guys here so that you guys can see it. But like I mentioned, the market is still moving pretty wacky right now. Like David mentioned earlier, a lot of people call Tuesday Trap Tuesday because there's a lot of traps that get placed around on this day. So I would be careful. I think we would probably just focus on like maybe Josh's 3-minute strategy so we don't get caught in these traps. Because yeah, looking at this here, it looks like Josh, most of his entries here would have hit TP for the most part. This one right here. Yeah, but they're like really tight. Like some of these are like barely hitting TP. Like this hit TP right there. This would have hit TP right here as well. But like I mentioned, it's a risky move for you guys to take. If you guys want to take it, here's the trade for the 15-minute. But like I mentioned, I'm not taking this trade myself because I still don't feel comfortable with how the market's moving. I like to move directional, and currently right now it's not really moving directional. It's kind of just going back and forth. So if I go back to this clean chart over here, if I take everything off again, you guys can see that the zones have spread out a little further now. So now it's in a bigger range if you're looking at US 30 right here. So this is the problem, because if you guys take a buy, you can probably hit TP, but it might hit your stop loss before it hits TP, right? It might do that. Or vice versa. If you're taking a sell, price might swing this way before it swings down. And if that happens, you'll get stopped out that way as well. And if you look at the range here, the range between where price currently is in the zones, it's too far out. Our stop loss is going to be 500 pips. This is a 600 pip move right here. So it might hit your stop loss before it hits your TP. And that's where it becomes an issue, right? It's too close to the middle right now. So that's why I personally wouldn't mess with it at this time. And we're just going to keep waiting for it to smoothen out before we actually enter any new trades. Because, obviously I want to make sure that we give you guys proper entries and not just some random entries that we see. So I'm done with the DAX. The next question is gold by Spooky. So if you guys have any other questions, you guys can put them in the chat and I can answer them for you. I can analyze any pairs for you guys as well. This is a good time for me to answer questions since the market is moving kind of wacky, and we definitely don't want to hop into bad trades right now. So we're just going to take it easy. Yeah, if you guys took this gold trade that I went over, what was it, yesterday? Yeah. So if you guys sat in on my live session yesterday, this entry appeared yesterday morning at 6, right? So I actually marked this up for you guys yesterday. The reason for this trade here was that we identified the momentum was coming down, right? We had a sell signal here. So we had a sell bias. So from this point, there was a rejection, sell signal right here. Price broke and closed past the structure right here. And then I marked this up for a sell. So whoever took this trade yesterday, when I marked it up for you guys, this was 6 o'clock yesterday. So around this time yesterday, if you took this trade here, it played out exactly like I said it would, right? So I marked it up right there, straight to TP, literally no drawdown. So I'll go ahead and reanalyze this from scratch to see, what the opportunities are now for gold. So I'm going to zoom out from this point, delete everything off the chart, and I'm going to do the same exact analysis that I've been doing for you guys with all the Forex pairs and all the indices. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw market structure. You guys can draw market structure on your own, but like I mentioned, if you guys want to be on point and exact, you guys can have access to the K2 indicator, and you guys can have it draw it for you, and then you just draw over it. Because I see a lot of people draw zones in like random places. I'm like, why is there a zone there? And they're like, I don't know, it looks like a zone should have been there. And I'm like, well, if your zones are off and they're not on point, that could be the difference between winning and losing a trade. Because like, I'm not going to lie, it is hard to draw zones if you don't know what you're looking for. And that's why I created this indicator to train you guys to look for specific zones. Because then, like, for example, if I was to take this off and I was just going to do this on my own, I could probably do it on my own because I just identify where the zones are, right? Because I've been trading for so long where I can just draw zones where I think they are, like where the rejection points happen. And then I can still draw my zones here. It's just they're not going to be perfect, right? Because this zone right here can be, this could be a zone or this could be a zone. Like where do you know where the proper zone is, right? And yeah, for example, if I was to draw zones like this, they look all right, but they don't look super clean. If I turn on the momentum indicator, I mean the K2 indicator, you can see that I was kind of on point, right? I lined up with a lot of them, but I missed this zone right here. I missed this bigger zone right here. And I also missed this zone right here. I also added a couple of zones that weren't there. Oh no, actually I'm pretty on point. Now that I look at it, I just missed a couple of zones. So if I take this off right here and I turn it back on, you guys can see that my zones line up pretty nicely with the K2 zones. And obviously it lines up because I created this indicator. So I know exactly where the zones are supposed to be. But I did miss this one right here. And I did miss this one right here. So this could have been the game changer, whether I, made a win or made a loss on that point. But other than that, I pretty much drew the zones for you from scratch. So you guys can see that it's possible to do without the indicator, but it's going to take a lot of time unless you really know what you're doing, which, I mean, it's hard to really know what you're doing unless you have something showing you that you're doing it properly. So yeah, first I'm gonna draw this market structure right here. There we go. I'm just cleaning it up. Like even though my zones are earlier lined up, I'm just cleaning it up a lot more so that we can identify exactly where the important parts are. But yeah, so you guys saw there that you guys can draw the zones on your own. It's just, you're not going to be 100% accurate. So anyways, looking at gold over here, you can see from this point, I'll chop up the zones right here, or the market structure. So basically right here, this is, market structure from January 10 up until February 1st. Again, same situation right here. Price broke into the structure, it broke below, and then this became new market structure right here within this area. Again, same situation right here, new market structure on this area. And you guys can see that it's easy to dissect, right? If you zoom out from this point, you're like, okay, price just ranged within this area. Price just ended up going back and forth within this area. Same situation right here. And then looking at current price, price is below here. So you can see that the important market structure is going to be within, let's see. I could actually just move this over to like right over here. There we go. So zooming out to this point over here, you guys can see that this is important, right? This is basically what's important market structure for gold, because you can see right here, obviously price was going sideways over here, and then this is how you split up market structure from dates, because you guys can see that price moves different from date to date, right? So all of January right here, it was consolidation. February, it went back and forth. Late February, it went back and forth as well. And here we are in March into some solid consolidation. So looking at this point over here, if I zoom in a little bit, you guys can see that this is what's important. The next thing we're going to do is turn on the momentum indicator right here and identify our bias. So for example, right here, we have a rejection from this point. We have a sell signal right here. And that's going to be our bias. So we're only looking for sells at this point, right? So if I zoom in a little closer to here, you guys can see that price, we have a rejection, sell signal. And as soon as price breaks structure right here, this is where we took that sell yesterday, where I identified the sell, and that's where it hit TP. So from this point right here, price broke structure again a second time. So same pattern, right? Price, rejection, sell signal, breaking close past structure. It tests the next structure below here. Same situation over here again. It broke below structure again right here. So if you took any of these two cells here, you took a sell here, full TP, right? You take another sell right here, it would have hit TP because your TP would have been before this range, right? I mean, before the lower zone. So my advice right now for gold is I would wait for price to, so we still have a sell bias here because the most recent signal is a sell. What I'd be looking for is I'd be looking for price to close below this zone right here. And then once it closes below this zone, then you can do the same thing you did here, right? Price broke and closed below the zone, you take a sell, right? Price broke and closed below the zone right here. What'd you do from that point? Take a sell, right? Again, right here, if price breaks and closes below the zone, what do you think we're going to do from this point? We're going to take a sell, right? Because we have a sell bias. And one way to identify another confirmation is, in order to confirm that gold is probably going to go down, we'll just pull up the dollar index, because the dollar index moves opposite of gold. So what we do is we pull up DXY over here. And as you can see, the DXY is super bullish, right? It's bullish. It's just been going up. Like it's literally been going up since down here. So all of March, the DXY is going up. So if the DXY continues to go up, what do you think is going to happen with gold? Gold's going to keep dropping, right? Because if price is going down, that means that the second currency is stronger than the first currency. If price is going up, that means that the first currency is stronger than the second currency. So for example, here, if the DXY keeps pushing up, that means the US dollar is going to keep becoming stronger, right? As it continues to be strong, then we could expect gold to continue to drop farther and farther. So that's another confirmation that you guys can use. There's a lot of different confirmations that you guys can use, but for gold specifically, one of the main confirmation after you've already analyzed the chart is to look at the DXY. If it keeps pushing up, then you keep selling gold. If the DXY goes down, then you buy gold, right? Because it moves opposite. So for example, here, when price was going up here, the dollar was weak. That's why gold continued to rise in strength. Vice versa right here, the dollar rised in strength. So that's why it started coming down. So this is going to be the, the difference here between these two currencies. Because, the gold standard, obviously it's going to move opposite of the dollar. So I would just focus on the dollar, DXY, and see where this moves. And if this continues to push up, like say, continues to push up higher, then we would look for this break and close below here and then take that sell. So that's pretty much my analysis of gold right there. I wouldn't enter right now. I would wait for it to actually close below the structure so that you have that confirmation. Because this is what happened. I see a lot of people sometimes they'll just enter a sell here, like at random. There's like, oh, I'm going to enter a sell because it's going to drop. Their stop loss is like right here. And what happens is it'll come up, hit their stop loss, and then it'll come right back down and hit their TP. But they're already out of the trade because it got kicked out. So that's something to look out for. And that's why you guys got to be patient and wait for the actual entry. Don't just hop into a trade because you feel like it's going to go, one direction. Because usually if you take a trade out off your gut like that, it's probably not going to play out like you thought it would be. It might hit your stop loss before it ends up coming down. And that's the worst feeling when it like triggers your stop loss and then it goes straight to profit, right? So just be patient, guys, and wait for that confirmation before you enter this trade for gold if you decide to. So other than that, I think that's it for the questions now. Let's see. Marine wants me to take a look at NASDAQ 100. All right, so I think that's the last question. So if you guys have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'll answer anything for you guys. But let me check US 30 real quick to see if there's any entries that are available. So this is exactly why I decided not to take trades right now, right? It's going back and forth. Price is going down, it's going up. It's just, there's no direction set for US 30 right now. And that's why we're just going to sit tight and wait for these to actually, wait for price to actually play out before we take anything new. There's probably going to be another sell right here. If this candle closes below this pivot, because you can see right here that for this specific candle, confirm wick rejection off the K2 pivot, it's rejecting off the pivot. And we just want to confirm the wick rejection off the K2 SR zone, which would be this zone right here. So that's pretty much all we're waiting for here on US 30. Meanwhile, I'm going to answer some questions since we're just, we're not entering any scalps right now. We're just waiting for the market to stabilize and set a direction before we start hopping back in. So the next question that we have here is going to be NASDAQ 100 for Marine. We have Monster FX. He wants me to take a look at GU. So we got Monster FX or GBP USD. All right, let me just check the chat real quick before I go down. I did see that the chat got kind of filled up a bit. All right, let's see. Dave said, how do you get the upper and lower numbers pivots on the chart? Yeah, exactly. So Dave said those upper and lower pivots look helpful to identify rejection points too. Yeah, so in order to get these numbers on the chart right here, Dave, just go to indicators and then type in pivot. And then it's going to be the built-in indicator right here, the pivot points high low indicator. So you can type in pivot points actually. Yeah, pivot points, and it's going to be the pivot points high low indicator. It's the built-in trading view indicator. So if you have that there, you can identify the swings where it swings high, swings low, and it'll help you identify, rejection points, just like you said. Let me see if there's anything else here real quick before we continue. Oh, nice. Funded Trader said, newbie to K2, best info I've ever seen online ever. Definitely Funded. It's glad to have you here, bro. Dave also mentioned, when I draw my rectangle zones, I always have to drag the color all the way across the horizontal where you only have to draw a very small square. So Dave, in order to get that function, just double click on your rectangle, go to a style right here and check these right here where it says extend right and extend left. And then it'll just extend across your entire screen. That way you don't have to go and drag it across, because I know it's a bit tedious having to do that. All right, cool. So that's it for now. Next question is going to be NASDAQ 100 for Marine. If you guys have any other questions, like I said, feel free to put your questions in the chat. I'm here to help you guys out. If there's a trade that you're interested in, you're thinking about taking, Just put your asset down there and your time frame, depending on what you want me to analyze, and I can confirm for you whether I see the same thing that you see or whether we see something different. Because you always got to keep an open mind when you guys are trading. You know, I see a lot of people trade like one way, and that's not going to be beneficial for you, because if you just trade one way, you're going to be biased, and you're probably like, you're going to miss little things that could have helped your trade out. So if you guys have questions, just put the question in the chat. And if you know, depending on what you want me to analyze it for, if you want me to analyze it for intraday, I can do that. If you want me to analyze it for scalps, I can do that as well. So it's whatever you guys want. Just put it in the chat, because this is probably the one of the few days that I can answer questions, since the market is kind of choppy and we're not really feeling comfortable taking these scalps right now. So here's the NASDAQ 100 for your memory. Basically right here, these are all the zones. And it's the same thing I do for everything, guys. You guys can see my analysis is the same for Forex, whether it be indices, whether it be cryptos, whether it be commodities. It's the same exact analysis. First, I draw a market structure here. As you guys can see, we have some market structure all drawn throughout. And looking at current price right now, just looking where price currently is, I'm going to cut this off at this point over here. And this is where it's going to be important. So we don't really focus on anything else that happened over here, because this is all noise, right? I mean, it's not necessarily noise at the time as it's happened, but this stuff is like kind of irrelevant at this point, because price is currently over here now and price is bouncing around. So looking at NASDAQ 100 right here, this is going to be our main focus, because price broke into this structure or this market structure from here down to here. If I delete everything off this chart, or not everything, but so if I delete all this stuff right here, you can see where all the noise is, right? The noise is all over the place, but what's important is this area and this area right here. So with that said, I'm just going to put these back on. That's why we cut this off to this specific price point over here. Sorry, let me just go to the chat real quick. Let's get these scammers here. Chat bomb. Let me just delete this real quick. We always get these scammers in the group. It's annoying. All right, anyways, back to NASDAQ 100. So looking at this here, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to turn on the momentum indicator to identify our bias. So obviously right here, you can see that we have a sell bias, and it's dropped pretty nicely since then. So from here, it dropped down pretty nice. We'll identify the rejection point from where it started right here. We have the sell signal right here. And as you can see, like I mentioned, it's the same strategy, right? So we have, I'll just turn this off here. We had a rejection off this point, the sell signal right here. We had price break and close below structure right here. So if you enter this trade right here, it looks like you would have hit TP already, because your TP would be below, I mean, it'd be above the zone, because we don't like having it too close to the zone. So for example, right here, if you took this trade, it literally went from, it broke structure, you entered it, and then would have hit TP before it swung back up. So looking at this now, obviously we have a sell bias right here, but there's a bunch of zones in this area. So memory, this is kind of what I would identify. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to delete these other zones because they're irrelevant at this point. So I'm going to delete this, and I'll show you what my analysis is going to look like from here. So actually, I'll leave these on here because this is where it's going to become important. So looking at current price right now, it's just ranging within the zone right here, right? It's just going sideways. So at this point over here, price can do one of two things. We currently still have a sell bias because the most recent signal is a sell signal. So what you could be looking for here is if price ends up closing below this structure right here, like it did previously for right here, you can take another sell, right? You can take another sell, and then you'll probably run it to this price point right there. So this is probably going to be the setup right here. Vice versa, if we get a buy signal and the bias changes, which happens sometimes, you know, it's not always going to move one direction. Vice versa, if you get a buy signal like this right here, so say for example, we get a buy signal and it closes above here. If this happens, then instead of taking the sell, we'll take the buy instead. So this is what I mean about having to analyze things from different perspectives. Because if you're only looking at this from a sell, because obviously, you know, if you're a beginner trader, you're going to trade in the direction of the trend, right? And then if you see this as a downtrend, you're only looking for sells here, right? And that limits your ability to really analyze the chart properly, because price can easily cross above here. And then if it closes, you can take a buy right there, right? That's why you have to set up different scenarios, because even though it's in a downtrend right here, this can still come down from this point right here. So there's two different scenarios that can play out. It could come down from here, you enter the sell, or vice versa. You know, price ends up swinging the other direction up there, and you take the buy. So what I recommend is keep an open mind and to make sure to analyze things from both perspectives. So for example, here, like I mentioned, there's two different scenarios that can play out. Scenario number one is price can swing up from this point, and then you can take that buy. Scenario number two is price can swing down from this point in the direction of momentum, and then you can take that sell. So it just really depends on what you're looking for. But like I mentioned, it's, you know, I wouldn't enter this trade until price either gives you a buy signal and closes above here, or whether the sell signal continues lower and closes below here. So just keep that in mind for the NASDAQ. I'll also look at it from a scalp perspective right here on the 10-minute. So it looks like there's some sell scalps that are setting up right here. Let me just check this real quick, guys. Oh yeah, it looks like the so it looks like the sell entry that we were probably looking at earlier hit TP already. So this is the one that we were looking at, or no, it hasn't even moved that much. This is the sell scalp that we were looking at earlier. It hasn't really moved at all, but it's starting to move down. So this is the sell scalp from earlier. There's a couple of sell scalps that are available right here as well. But like I mentioned, I'm not taking these trades. So if you guys have the strategy and you guys understand it, you guys can apply it on your own. But I'm not necessarily taking these trades myself. But this would have been an entry here. So if you look at the requirements here, wick rejection off the K2 pivot, it's rejecting off the yellow and green pivot right here. It's also rejecting off this structure. So with that said, you can enter a short position right here. And this would be the move off this 10-minute. Again, over here for the 15-minute, same situation. We drew the zones on the 15-minute, confirmed the wick rejection off the K2 pivot, which would be up here. And then you just enter on the next candle. Same strategy, just different time frame. So both of these entries here, if you took either of these scalps, they'd be in profit. I didn't take them myself, so they're not going to count as, you know, any results or anything like that. But just to show you guys, it is starting to move in that direction. So if this happens right here, this is perfect, because we want price to come down, come back up, provide another entry. And with that said, we'll enter a sell as it comes back down further. So this is what we want. We want a direction to be set so that we can feel comfortable about taking these scalps. But yeah, anyways, here for the 15-minute sell scalp, 10-minute sell scalp there. Same situation right here. I think if we get a sell signal here on the 3-minute, we can apply the Josh's 3-minute strategy here as well. Josh, not sure if this is what you're looking for. Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. Short scene. Short scene said market is not normal. I agree too, and that's why I'm kind of just chilling, guys. I'm not going to take any of these trades. This would be another sell scalp for Josh's entry if that becomes the case. But, you know, like I was saying earlier, like what everyone's saying, actually, it's not just me, but it's Short Scene just mentioned, and then Donatello mentioned as well. They're both saying that the market is unstable. So, you know, we all identified this correctly. And this is why I'm just hanging out right now. I'm not really taking the risk of hopping into these risky trades. But if you guys want to take them, I mean, you guys can. It's just understand your risk, right? If you lose these trades, you guys understood that it was a risky time to trade. And if you win the trade, understand that you won that trade, but it was still risky at the same time. But yeah, I don't like taking trades when I'm not certain. I like to be 100% when I take trades, and I don't like to feel nervous when I enter trades, because then at that point, that's when the trade psychology starts to take over and it starts to mess with you. So, all right, what was I looking at again? Oh, the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ over here, I'll look at some scalps here to see if there were scalps on the 10-minute. All right, let me just go ahead and zoom out from this point. Draw some structures for you guys. So I'll draw market structure here. You guys can see that you can draw market structure on any time frame. It's not just the higher time frames. Like you can go on the 10-minute and you can draw market structure on like literally anything. And the same analysis that I did for you guys, it works all across the board. So it doesn't matter what you're trading, what time frame you like to trade on, it still works. And that's the main key, right? What I always tell people is, you know, don't fix what's not broken, because a lot of people like to do something different from like what's already taught. But it's really like pretty simple if you guys just follow the directions. So anyways, looking at NASDAQ right here, it's just super choppy. Like looking at everything else over here, I mean, there's a lot of entries that are available from both ways. So I wouldn't even take any of these trades here. There's a bunch of buy entries that are available right here. So with that said, if we enter a long position right here, that would have been a long position. You know, vice versa over here. If we enter I mean, there's positions in both directions. There's long positions there. There are short positions here. But like how everyone else is saying, the market is just not, it's not safe to trade right now. So this might have hit TP, but you would have been close to stop loss. And then same with this situation right here. This dropped down to drawdown before it shot up. So I'm not really going to mess with any of these scalps right now. We'll keep watching them, but I'm not going to take them myself. Here's a 10-minute entry here that I marked up for you guys. Looks like it's about to hit TP. Same with the 15-minute right here as well. Yeah, so that's about to hit. And this 15-minute is pretty much the same strategy as the 10-minute. The only difference is that the zones are drawn on the 15-minute and the entry is taken on the 3-minute. So this is CT's Snipe Strategy. He's another member of K2 who's been with us for about, what is it, like 1 or 2 years now. And CT is the one that locked in 8,000 profit yesterday. So if you guys saw his profits yesterday, that's why I wanted to learn the strategy, because I was like, dude, how did you lock in 8,000 yesterday? And he did it. Like, let's see. So yeah, CT locked in 7,919. He took all wins here, applying the same strategy. So all he did was he made a little twist to our original strategy. It's basically a 10-minute strategy, but he uses different time frames to find better entry points. So I mean, it doesn't matter which one you want to apply. You can apply CTs, you can apply my original strategy, or you can apply Josh's 3-minute scalp as well. And they all work. It's just, you know, what's more accurate than the other. They're all going to have its pros and cons. But yeah, so I think that's it for that right there. Let me see if there's anything else for me to look at real quick. If you guys have any other questions, this is probably your best time to get them out to me, because we do have some downtime today as the market starts to bounce around. Until the market smoothens out, we're not going to really be looking for any new trades. So until then, I'll answer questions for you guys. So let's see. Ishfar wants me to take a look at Euro JPY. And let's see, King Kong said, sorry, I know yesterday I asked this question, but I would like to know what broker you use to trade your US 30 and other stocks. So I don't trade stocks at all, but for US 30, I use FTMO and Hugo's Way. So FTMO is for my bigger accounts. That's how I take these bigger trades. And then my my Hugo's Way is for like my personal trades. It's not necessarily I mean, they just copy my trades over. So I take the trades off my FTMO, but then they copy over to my Hugo's Way account. So I just trade off one account and everything just copies over. Oh, my bad, Monster. Yeah, Monster FX wanted GBP USD. So I got that right now. So first question is going to be GBP USD for Monster FX, and then Euro JPY for Ishfar. Let's see. King Kong is asking, where can we get Josh's 3-minute strategy? So if you go over to the live session, so if you go over to the YouTube channel, here's the K2 YouTube channel. If you go over here to videos, it's going to be, I think it's this one right here, right? Yeah. So if you look at the video, the K2 mentoring session from March 24th, this, you guys can see the title right here. It's kind of hovering over it. It says Josh's 3-minute strategy. So if you look over this mentoring session right here, let me change the title. I'll change the title so that you guys can see, you guys can find it better. All right. So I just changed the title for that video. So let me just go back to let me go back to the videos right now. All right. So if you go back to the videos over here, you guys will see Josh's 3-minute strategy. Just go on the YouTube channel over here, go to videos, and you guys can see if you guys want to go back and watch all my previous live sessions. I go live like 3 to 5 times a day. So I have a lot of live sessions here. If you want to go back and see how I mentor people, or if you want to go back to see all my live trades, you know, I've got over 6 months of live trading here, or maybe up to a year. It's still loading, but I have over a year of live trading every single day. So if you want to go and watch any of my trades live, just go back and rewatch. But King Kong, if you want to see Josh's strategy, just go to videos. It's going to say Josh 3-minute strategy right here on March 24th. And that's where you can learn Josh's strategy. And just a reminder, it's Josh's strategy it's not complete yet. It's still a work in progress. So don't like copy word for word. You'd have to be in the premium and you'd have to talk to Josh personally, because Josh gives updates in the premium all the time. He's always giving updates as it continues, you know, throughout the year, because he just keeps giving his updates. Let me see where Josh is at. So like Josh is over here. Yeah, because he's always giving like new updates. Like for example, sorry, he has like a lot of messages here. If you guys are in the premium, you guys will know what I'm talking about, because Josh continues to update his strategy all throughout the day or all throughout the year, you know, as he finds something new. I'm trying to figure out where his most recent update was. Yeah, like he'll give you guys updates and he'll tell you what he's doing new for his strategy. Since it's his strategy, he's the only one that knows the updates for it. But other than that, let me see if there's anything else here. All right, no. So that's it. That's done with that chat right there. Other than that, I think that's going to be about it for the question. So I have 2 questions here. I have GBP USD for Monster FX, and then I have Euro JPY for Ishvar. So if you guys have questions, put them in the chat now, and I can analyze anything for you guys while we're on the session, since the market just isn't ready for entries at this point. Charles asking, how does copy trader convert the numbers from your FTMO TP stop loss? It just enters and exits at the same time. So whatever actions my FTMO does, my Hugo's Way copies over. So if I exit a trade on my, or if I enter a trade on my FTMO, it'll enter a trade on my Hugo's Way. If I exit the trade on my FTMO, it exits the trade on my Hugo's Way as well. Steven said, oh, so the 10-minute scalping, which is about to reach GP, is one that was risky. I mean, everything is risky right now, Steven. The market in general is just risky because price is just bouncing back and forth. It's not necessarily moving in a directional way. I mean, now it is currently, but as you guys can see right here, so now it's starting to move directional. But if you guys can see from this point right here, there's just too much choppiness right here, right? So that's not something that we would necessarily want to hop into. But currently now it is starting to move a little directional, which it is risky in my perspective, Steven. But okay, so next question is going to be GBP USD for Monster FX. Let me go over to GBP USD real quick. Yeah, so there's the GBP USD that I marked up yesterday, I believe. It just hit full TP. So if you guys want to see how I marked this up right here, or why I came up with this entry, as you can see right here, we did the same thing. We drew market structure. We identified the direction of momentum, rejection from that point, sell signal right here. We waited for price to break and close past structure right here. And with that said, you know, you enter a short position, full TP right there. So I'll do this from scratch. Let me just delete everything off the chart, but this is pretty much how we would have taken that trade right there. So I'll delete everything off the chart, zoom out, draw my market structure from scratch so that you guys can see exactly how this process is done. And it's really simple. You guys can see that I analyze charts within a few minutes or a few seconds in some instances if the zones are pretty clean. Sometimes they're messier than others, but sometimes they're cleaner than others. So it just depends on what you're looking at. All right. All right, so looking at GU right here, obviously you can see that this is, so I'll draw market structure from this point. So we got market structure from here up until, let's see, yeah, here I'd say. And then from here up until here, I'd say. From here up until there. So you can see how price is moving, right? I'm pretty much just dissecting the market to show you guys exactly where price is and has been moving. So for example, here, it's a bullish move, bullish move, bullish move, came back down, consolidation within this entire area right here, right? Price broke into the structure. And now this is what's important. So looking at this point right here, this is basically all that's really important because price is currently within these two zones, right? So if I delete this right here, delete this right here, delete this right here, you can see that this is the current market structure. So price broke into this structure on March 23rd at 2 a.m. And then from that point, it's just been going sideways since then. So that's pretty much it for now. Here, let me see. I'll probably mark it up from here actually. So this would probably be the important market structure. Obviously right here, price is heading down, right? Just looking at it from a basic perspective, it's in a downtrend, right? Right there. So looking at current price right now, we're going to turn on the momentum indicator. Obviously it's still a sell momentum. So we have the rejection from this point up here. We have the sell signal right here. And then with that said, that's going to be our bias. We're looking for some sells at this point. So same situation right here. We had a rejection above here. We had a breaking close path structure right here. So if you were to take this trade over here, this would have been the sell and that would have been the full TP, right? But if you wanted to ride it all the way down to this zone down here, the full move still hasn't completed. So the full move is about 90 pips. So Monster, just looking at this right here, I'm not sure if this is how you took it or if you're in a sell right now, Monster, but this is basically the move that needs to complete. So this would need to come down, test this structure right here. As soon as this tests the structure down here, one of two things can happen. Price will either reject off this point and swing all the way back up, or price will close below here and continue dropping even further, right? So if this ends up closing below this structure right here, Monster, this would be another sell entry that'd be available at that point. So that's pretty much what we would be looking for over here as we continue on. So this is pretty much what I see happening. It's probably going to finish its move, test this structure right here. Once it reaches that point, it'll either reject off this point right here or it'll break down further and continue dropping even further down. So this is pretty much my analysis for GBP USD. Once you have this analysis drawn up, you can go over to the indexes over here. And once you have this, you can just pull up the indexes for the BXY. And this would be your final confirmation. So for example here, if you want gold to continue dropping, right? So for example, if you want gold to continue dropping further, you need the dollar to be stronger than the pound, right? Looking at the indexes right here, the pound is super weak, right? So it's super weak, the dollar is super strong. So with that said, this will indicate that, we should probably be looking for the sell here, because with that said, with the pound weak and the dollar strong, that's going to confirm our move here, right? Because when price is going down, that means that the second currency is stronger than the first currency. So for example, right here, as price continues to drop, that means that the US dollar is stronger than the pound, which is true, just looking at the indexes over here. Vice versa, when price is going up, this indicates that the pound is stronger than the dollar, right? So if you look over here, the pound was kind of bullish and the dollar was kind of weak. So looking at this here, when the pound is going up and dollar is going down, that's where you should see GBP USD go upwards, right? So that's pretty much my analysis for GBP USD. I think it's going to continue to drop because looking at current price right now, it's it's still going that same direction. So this is pretty much what we see happening here. So pound's weak, dollar strong. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for now. So that's it for GBP USD. The next question we have is Euro JPY for Ishfar. Other than that, here, let me see if there's anything else here before I continue on. Memorine's asking, where can we find copy trading software? How much is it? I use Social Trader Tool. So if you want to look them up, you can, Memorine. That's the one that I use personally. Dave said, damn, Shawn, you were very fluent on the chart. Definitely, Dave. I mean, I trade every day and I've been trading for like 10, 11 years now. So that's why I'm so fluent on the chart. It's, it's just easy for me. It's like speaking a new language, right? If you know this language of trading, it should come fluent to you as well. But it all comes with time. I've been trading for a long time now and I trade every single day. So that's why I've gone so good at, drawing charts and stuff like that. So anyways, going back to US 30 right here, it looks like the 10-minute entry hit full TP already. So if you guys took that 10-minute entry, here's some horns for you guys. If you guys ended up taking that trade right there, I didn't take it, but if you guys did take it, it hit TP with like little to no drawdown right there. Well, like literally no drawdown. But yeah, we currently don't have any trades active right now. See, even Josh's strategy is kind of choppy. It doesn't look like it would have hit. So this is Josh's strategy right here. Actually, he wouldn't have taken it because it's sitting on the pivot right here. So he would have skipped this this sell. He might have taken this buy right here though. This candle is closing in about 1 minute and 40 seconds. So if this closes with a buy signal right there, it would confirm for a buy entry using Josh's 3-minute strategy. But like I mentioned, market is still choppy right now, guys. So it's not something that I would necessarily recommend you guys take. It's not a safe time to trade right now with US 30 just bouncing back and forth. And the thing is, these candles are moving too fast. Like if you look at every candle here, these candles are moving like 500 pips each. Your stop loss is 500 pips if you're using the scalp strategy. And that's going to become an issue because if you end up taking a trade and it reverses on you immediately, it can easily hit your stop loss before it moves down a profit. So I wouldn't recommend entering any trades right now. I would just continue to wait for the market to stabilize. If we don't get any new entries by like 9:30, 10, then we're probably going to call it a day for the New York session. So hopefully you guys locked in profit this morning. I think a lot of you guys did. Yeah, check it out. So Cheryl over here, her name is Making It with K2. She, I think she started her 200K account. Nice. Yeah, so she started her 200K account right here. She's in profit 2,000 right now. So she's doing pretty good. She traded the DAX 30, US 30, UK 100, small loss there. A win right here for UK 100 to cover that loss, and a couple other UK 100 trades here. So as you guys can see here, I mean, even though I'm not taking trades myself, there's a bunch of other people in K2 who know these strategies and they're taking the trades on their own. So for example, here, if we look at, the timestamp here, it says today, these are all the strategies these are all the trades that were taken today, even though I didn't take these trades myself. Like Cheryl over here locked in about 2,000, Jasmine locked in $50. Her other account made $30. Sisuk made 1,596. David over here made 285. Jonathan over here made 1,311. Spencer over here made 1,435. So everyone here is making pretty good profit. Even Steven here with his pennies that he made. Every penny counts, right, Steven? So definitely, if you guys learn the strategy, you guys can definitely pick up a lot more than we're taking here. Because I'm very careful with my trades, guys. That's why I don't really take that many trades, because I'm super careful. And I only like taking trades that win. So I'm like very careful with what we take. But it looks like US 30 is going to have some, damn, look at this big candle right here. See this huge candle right here? See, this is why it becomes risky, because you can enter a buy or a sell at any point and it can just reverse on you at any moment. So here's the, this would actually provide for another sell entry right here for US 30. I'll just wait for this to close here. I'm not going to take this trade, but if you guys want to take it, you guys are welcome. But just like I mentioned, guys, it's really, really risky for you to take these trades right now because of how the market's moving. So we got about 30 seconds left on this candle. Once this closes right here, whoever wants to take it, you guys can take it, but just remember that this is an at your risk trade. This is not one that I recommend. It's not one that I'm taking in my own account. It's just if you feel comfortable taking it, then you can. But I personally am going to wait because it's just too risky for me to enter stuff right now, especially with how the market has been moving all day today. Because we did have wins this morning, and then I had a couple losses where I just pretty much wiped out my profit. So there's an entry right there if you guys decide to take this trade. But like I mentioned, it's an at your risk trade, guys. So understand your risk going to this trade. Remember that this is a risky trade. And, you know, it's like a 50-50 chance of you losing because I don't feel confident about the trade. So that's pretty much that right there. Let me see if there's anything else for me to look at. The next question is EURJPY for ISHVAR. So the damn, it's dropping in profit right there. So whoever took that trade, you're pretty much far in profit right now as we speak. It's all right. I don't mind not taking it because I'd rather conserve my capital. And then once we have another hot day, I'm just going to take trades during that time. So anyways, back to the Forex charts over here. The next question was EURJPY for ISHVAR. So let me delete everything off the chart, zoom out from this point. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to identify market structure. So let me go ahead and draw my market structure for you guys here. We have a zone above there. We have another zone right there. We got this zone right here. Again, right here. Again, right here. And then lastly down here. All right, so with all that drawn right there, we have some perfectly drawn zones. So looking at current price right here, you know, like I've been doing all throughout this day, I chop up the market structure by time period. So for example, right here, we have this area. It's one structure right there. Again, right here, this is new market structure right here, breaks into this point. And then now price is currently within this market structure right here. So as you can see right here, this was a bit of some consolidation, bullish move, consolidation, bullish move, consolidation, bearish move. And what happens from this point? Consolidation, right? Nothing really changes, same thing. But anyway, just zooming in from this point over here, you know, this is the main focus. So the next thing we're going to do is turn on the momentum indicator to identify our bias. Right here, we have a bullish bias. Reason for that is because the most recent signal was a buy signal right there, right? So buy signal, rejection off this structure right here. But this can be doing, I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen here. So once we have this drawn up right here, like I mentioned, if you look at previous price, it just goes into consolidation, right? So it breaks into a structure, consolidation, breaks into the structure, consolidation, same with here, consolidation. So what do you think is going to happen from here? If you look at previous patterns, it's just going to go back into consolidation, right? So what could happen here? There's a couple scenarios. So scenario one is price can reject off this point right here. Then it can come back down. Then at this point, it can do one of two things. It can reject off this point, or it can continue dropping. So there's two different scenarios that can play out from here. But it just depends on, you know, what we plan on taking from this point. But like I mentioned, so price is currently coming down from this point. One of two things can happen where price currently is as well. Like price can come down to this point here, or price can swing back up from here. So it just really depends on what happens with price. I probably wouldn't want to trade within this area here. The reason for this right here is because the most recent signal is a buy signal, right? So unless we get a sell signal, so for example here, if price rejects off this point and we get a sell signal, just like we did right here, we can take a small scalp right here because it tests the zone down here, right? So same situation here. If we get a sell signal right here, then we can possibly take a short position right here and then just write it down to this next zone right here. But you know, it's just a risky time to trade right here because there's no confirmation. I think I would be more confident about my trade when it breaks into a new market structure. And that's why these market structures are very important. So I would wait for price to either swing above here. And then with that said, like if price ends up swinging above here, then that's going to be brand new market structure right here, right? And if price ends up closing right here, like it did right here, what do you think is going to happen from that point? It's going to push up to the next zone above here. So same situation right here. If price closes above here, we can take a long position and then we can ride this up to there, just like it did right here, right? It's the same pattern. It just repeats itself. Vice versa, if price ends up going down from here, or this wouldn't be new market structure, it'd still be within the same area. Because if I delete this right here, this is the same market structure, right? It's just bouncing between here and here. If price ends up closing below here, then this would be brand new market structure as well. So if this happens right here, then we can take a short position right down there, right? And that's how you guys identify market structure and how you use it to your advantage. I feel like a lot of people don't use market structure properly. They just draw support and resistance and then they don't know what to look out for, right? For example, here, if you're looking at this, you can see what's important. What's important here is going to be this area above here and this area below here. And the reason for that is because you can just easily delete this zone right here. And then this is what's important, right? Price hasn't broken below the zone. Price hasn't broken above this zone. So if it breaks above here, it's going to continue pushing up. If it closes below here, it's going to continue pushing down. So that's why it's important that you wait for these confirmations, before you enter these trades. Because I feel like a lot of people enter trades without even thinking about it. But in reality, that's what price does. If you look at all this market structure that I drew, price does the same thing every single time. You just wait for it to break outside, the market structure. So for example, here, there was probably a zone down here as well. So there's probably a zone right there. So for example, right here, if you're following this, you just wait for price to break above the zone or break below the zone right here, right? Same situation right here. See how price bounces if I delete this right here? See how price bounces in between these two zones right here? As soon as price breaks above the zone, that's where you take the buy. And then same situation right here. If you're looking at current price over here, you just wait for price to break above or below, and then it continues out. Sometimes you'll get faked out like this right here. But in reality, there was probably a zone above this area. Like we would have to rewind to this specific point in time to identify these other zones that were available here. Because there might have been more zones above here or below here. So what we'd be looking for is for price to break above here and close, or break below here and close, where it ends up dropping, right? So that's pretty much my analysis for EuroJPY, Ishvar. There's just a lot of different scenarios that can play out, and I would be waiting for it to confirm before I take this trade. So I think that's it for EuroJPY right now. Other than that, let's go back to US 30. Yeah, so if you guys took that 10-minute entry right here off US 30, it's currently still in profit and it's pushing down, but it's not really moving very much right now. It's just, it's still doing what it's been doing this whole time. For the daily entry over here for US 30. Oh, and here's another strategy too. So that's one strategy that I just showed you guys. Here's the daily entry for you guys who have been with K2 for a while. So this is the K2 daily US 30 entry. First, you just look for entries. Delete that. Look for entries after New York Stock Exchange open, which is going to be 6 a.m. or 6:30 a.m. Pacific daylight savings time. And then next you just look or confirm the first valid K2 momentum signal. And then after that, you can enter on the open of the following candle. So pretty much for this strategy right here, there hasn't been an entry. Reason for that is because there's no valid K2 momentum signal, right? This is an invalid buy signal. This is an invalid sell signal. So for example, here, there's just no entry that's available just yet. If you guys follow the trade from yesterday, it hit TP1. But I think other than that, it's just, it's pretty much just bouncing around. So there's no daily entry for US 30. This would be the scalp entry for US 30 on the 10-minute. It's about to hit full TP right now. And here's the 15-minute as well. So let me go back on the 15-minute over here. This is CT's 15-minute strategy. Go back over here real quick to see if we have some more zones that have been produced. So not yet. No zones here. And it's continuing to drop at this point. So it looks like the Yeah, the 10-minute entry here is about to hit TP. Obviously, I didn't take that trade, but if you guys wanted to take it, that would have been the entry there. This is Josh's entry here off the 3-minute. And like I mentioned, guys, these are totally different strategies, right? So there's 4 different strategies that we use for US 30. We have the daily entry right here. We have the 15-minute CT strategy right here. We have the original 10-minute snipe strategy. And then we have the 3-minute Josh scalp strategy right here as well. So it looks like they're all coming down pretty heavy as we speak, but we'll have to follow it and see how this ends up, playing out from there. But yeah, other than that, I think that's it for now. So if you guys have any other questions, yeah, Dave. So I answered your question earlier. I'm not sure if you missed it. You might have missed it. In order to extend your rectangles to the side, you just click on the settings. So you could double click on your rectangle like that, or you can right click on it and then go to settings. Either way works. So if you just go to your settings, click on extend right and extend left, and that's how you extend your zones over to each side. So that's pretty much how you would fix it from there. But yeah, guys, there's not really much for us to take right now. Like I've been mentioning earlier, market has been kind of choppy. Like we had a couple wins this morning, and then we had a couple losses. So we're at about small profit or like around break even. We're not really that far in profit. Well, I'm glad that we're in profit. That's the main thing. Main thing is that we're still in profit for the day. That's the most important thing, because I don't like closing the trading day in the net negative. Even if it's a few bucks or a few couple $1,000. That's pretty much all that we are concerned with, right? It's just about closing out in profit. Whether it be small profit or big profit, it doesn't really matter. It's just closing out in profit and then compounding that account every day that you trade here with us. So other than that, guys, I think that's it for the questions. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I'll probably just be going down the Forex pairs to see if there's any possible Forex entries that are available for you guys off the next 4-hour candle close. But yeah, there's not really much for us to take right now. I'm not going to mess with any of these trades. Even though they were good trades, I'm not going to mess with them because this choppiness right here kind of burnt us earlier this morning. So that's why we were a little hesitant after that. Lloyd said US 30 has been a real burn today. Yeah, no, exactly. Man, I was all hyped this morning too. When you guys hopped in on this live session, I was up like 4,600, and then I lost 2 trades, and then I ended up losing like a couple. I think I'm like around break even for today, which it happens. As long as I'm in profit or if I'm at break even, that's all that really matters. Amarjeet's asking, is your trading view connected to your MT4 account when you take a trade? No, it's not, Amarjeet. That's why I have the MT4 chart. That's also on my chart as well. So that's why I have this, like whenever I take trades, I have my MT4 that's open right here as well. So I don't have it copying over like that. I know there's a way to do it, but I don't trust it because it's just the execution times aren't as fast. And the problem with that is, like, if I'm trading like thousands of dollars per trade, I'm not going to risk, using a third-party platform to execute my trades when I can just, directly trade on MT4. It's just there's too much risk involved. But all right, looks like this US 30 is about to hit TP, guys, for this 10-minute. If you guys took that trade, I did mention it was a risky trade, but I know there's a lot of you guys here who like to take risky trades. So if you guys did take it, looks like it's going to drop down. I'll just set an alert there so we can come back to it if and when it does hit. Looks like it's about to hit. Yeah, no, Lloyd said US 30 has been a real heartburn today. No, definitely. Yeah, same here, Lloyd. Like I'm just pretty much just waiting for this to play out. But anyways, let me look at the Forex pairs real quick, and I'll see if there's anything for us to take here. If there is, then I'll call them for you guys in the premium. If not, then we'll probably just be sitting tight for a bit up until Asia session. Possible entry right here, but I don't think it's a safe entry. I was looking at this last night too. The sell entry for JP Odd NZD. Let's mark that up right there. Yeah, sure, no problem, Amarjeet. Yeah, Jeff said, yep, the US 30 is the weakest of them all so far today. Exactly, Jeff. Man, it was crazy. This morning I was up like heavy in profit, dude. I literally threw all that profit away, but I'm just glad that I'm not in the negative. That's the main thing. But I could have just, man, if I just sat on my hands today and didn't enter anything else, damn, I would have been up pretty nice. Sisu over here made 3,000 though, so I'm happy for Sisu. At least someone's making profit over here. Yeah, no, so Sisu sent his profits right here. Nice. Yeah, Sisu locked in 2,809. Jeez. Nice work, Sisu. So this is what I mean about you guys applying the strategy on your own, right? Like I didn't take any of these trades myself. I didn't call them. But Sisu knows the strategy. So if you guys want to learn the strategy and take all these trades on your own, it's available to you guys. So looking at this over here, we have, let's see, he took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 trades this morning. He probably took more than that. He took all these trades over here and he made 2,809. So nice work off that, Sisu. Great work, bro. Even if I'm not profiting, I'm glad that you guys are here. As long as some of you guys here in K2 are profiting off these trades, I mean, that's all that really matters, guys. I don't care if I'm not profiting because I know I'm going to make profit regardless. Like tomorrow I'll make profit. Later today, Asia session, I'll make profit. But the main goal here is that everyone in K2 is profiting, right? There's no excuse why anyone here should not be profiting because all of our trades here are taken live. Like they're taken live, or if you take them on your own, you should still be hitting profit, and hitting profit consistently. So like I mentioned, guys, if you guys want to go back and watch all of my live sessions, just go on the YouTube channel, k2trades.com, go to videos, and you guys can see how I trade. I trade the same way every single day. So if you guys want to learn the blueprint and learn how to trade exactly how everyone trades here, I have like literally over a year of live streams where I trade every single morning. So if you go back here, you guys can see every single trade that I've taken, every trade that was called live, all of my analysis, from start to finish, and you guys can see exactly how I do everything. So if you guys aren't familiar with the videos, the ones with the white background, those are live trading sessions. The ones with the green background, those are previous mentoring sessions. So if you guys want to see my one-on-one mentoring, you guys can watch any of those videos. And the blue ones are the weekly chart analysis from Sunday. So if you guys aren't familiar with like what videos are what, that's how you guys will be able to find them on the YouTube channel. So other than that, guys, I don't really see much for us to take right now. Just looking at all the charts here, there's just not too much for us to really look at over here. There's a couple entries that are available here, but they just look like risky entries. The only Forex trade that we took this week so far would be the Euro CAD position here that hit full TP. So if you guys took that trade that I called yesterday, so I called that trade, what was it? Yeah, I called it yesterday at about 10 a.m. yesterday. So this was a trade here, the markup, and this is a trade here, how it played out, full TP. So I gave updates for that. This was a trade that we called. And then this morning, this was the full TP for 40 pips. So it's been a slow week overall, but we're still pretty profitable, as a whole. So other than that, I don't really see any other entries here available. Possible sell entry here for odd NZD. I'll think about that. Let me see. Let me just pull up the indexes over here and see what is over here. And yeah, it's ZXY. EX said, I got down yesterday and basically watched your entire free course. Yeah, no, definitely. If you guys want to learn all the strategies that we're applying here, just go on the website, k2trades.com. If you want access to the Zoom, so you guys can copy my trades real time into the signals, you can click on K2 Premium Signals right here. If you want access to the strategies where you can have access to these indicators and stuff, you can click on K2 Strategy Course right here. Or if you want to do what Yik did, where he just pretty much looked at all the free stuff that we have, you can click on Unlock Your Free Access right here. And then this is where you can, watch all the strategy videos and don't have to pay anything. It's completely free. So other than that, let me see if there's anything else for us to look at here. This is why I'm hesitant on taking odd NZD, because these are both bearish. So the problem with this right here is that this this can easily reverse on us, right? So we don't know what's going to happen here. This can easily come down or it can reverse on us. So it's not something that I really want to risk taking. The reason for that is because we had another fake out right here, right? So fake out right there. Let me see if there's any other zones here that are of importance. Yeah, it's just moving sideways, so it's not really worth the risk on my end. NZD USD, let me check this real quick. So we got DXY right here and the DXY right here. This might be a good late entry. Let's see. So the New Zealand dollar index is weak. Yeah, so you know what I'll do for this is I'll call this trade for you guys as a sell stop. So let's see. Yeah, I'll just call this as a sell stop for you guys. If you guys want to take it, you guys can. Here, I'll just. So this is pretty much how I call signals. You guys can see exactly how I call signals. I apply the same exact strategy that I teach you guys. I pretty much give you guys a blueprint for everything I do. It's not that difficult as long as you guys learn everything. And it can make all the difference, right? It'll make all the difference in your trading career if you have a path and you guys have an actual plan to follow. So I'm going to call this for a sell right here, NZD USD. And this is how I call signals. You guys can see that the same strategy I use is the same strategy that's used to call every signal that I post up. So if you guys want to learn how to trade like how I do and pick everything else up like everyone else has, then it's available to you guys. If not, you guys can go ahead and sit in this room and keep learning from me here. But whenever you're ready to take your trading to the next level, it's available to you. So there's the signal there. Oh, damn. Nice work, Sisu. So Sisu just locked in another profit right there. So Sisu, he's now up 3,000. Jeez, nice work, Sisu. So yeah, Sisu over here. Where's his profits at? I don't know if I saved this one over here. Yeah. So if you guys have profits from today, just send them over to me, and then I'll save them in our post for later today. But yeah, Sisu over here locked in. Where's the other prop that he made? Oh, it's on the other chat over here. Okay. So yeah, looking at Sisuk's profits here, you guys can see that everyone in K2 is like killing it, right? So Sisuk went from 2,700 to 2,800 to now 3,061. So Sisuk is still scalping right now, guys. As we're talking right here, and I'm not taking any trades, Sisuk knows the strategy, so he's applying it himself, and he's locked in 3,061 for the day. So if you guys want to apply this strategy, you guys can just learn the strategy and do it on your own. Here's the 10-minute scalp that I gave you guys a few minutes ago. It's about to hit full TP right now as we speak. And it looks good so far. So pretty good, guys. Yeah, Jasmine said, do you think US3 will reach the next zone? Possibly. It might reach this lower zone right here. So like pretty much for this right here, it looks like it's going to come down, hit the TP, and then break through it and keep dropping down to the zone right here, Jasmine. Yeah, Jasmine said, I'm up and sitting on my hands. I'm doing the same thing, Jasmine. I'm not messing with these trades, but if you guys are risk takers, you can take these trades. If your name is Sisuk over here and you want to make some money, you can make 3,000 just like how Sisuk's doing right now. There we go, full TP off that. So there goes a full TP off that scalp right there. If you guys took the scalp that that I called out for you guys a little while ago, I'll let it trigger. So if you guys took that, there you go, US 30 scalp full TP. So if you guys took the scalp that I gave you guys a few minutes ago, this just hit TP right there. I'll just give you guys an update in the group real quick for whoever took that trade. Yeah, so nice work off that, Sisu. I think you caught that. But I'm not messing with it at all. I'm probably gonna chill for the rest of the day. So yeah, I think that's it for this session, guys. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm gonna call this session off for today. I've been on this live session for about 3 hours now. So it's about time for me to take a break before I hop on for the mentoring sessions all throughout the day. So let me check real quick. Before I continue, let me just set my alerts up over here. So I'm gonna set my alerts up for NZD USD. So this is gonna be filled. Yeah, so this NZD USD trade hasn't filled yet. It's still running right now. This is going to be TP1 plus, what is it, 15? Full TP over here. All right, I got all my alerts set up here for NZD USD. Yeah, overall, these should be good, guys. So this is pretty much it for now. Let me check the chat real quick, see if I'm missing anything else. Here, let me just check out the chat real quick. Let's see. Yeah, Sisuk said it's overall a super risky day. This is just something I'm trying to work on personally, but with the K2 indicators and strategy, without, I definitely would have blown account. Yeah, no, definitely. Yik said, what made you want to do this? Most gurus I've seen charge out the ass for the info you give out free every single day. It's more so just giving back. Yeah, like for me, I was in your guys' position before where well, even till today, I've never paid for a mentor. I've never paid for a course. And I was in your guys' position at some point where I wanted to learn and I couldn't find good information anywhere. So I'm just giving back pretty much. I learned all this stuff. I've been trading for like 11 years now. So I'm just giving back to the community, right? Or the K2 community in general to make sure that you guys get all this stuff down, because this stuff's easy, bro. Like once you guys get this stuff down, it's so easy. And the K2 indicators are really the game changer, because it makes all the difference, with identifying structure, identifying momentum and stuff like that. Because there's a lot of bad stuff out there. Like you guys don't want to use the indicators that everyone else uses, because the market makers institutions know that, and that's how they trap people. So we do trade a little different here, but it's basically, it's a simplified way of trading that works, and we've been doing it for years. So we're just going to continue to do it and make adjustments as needed. So let's see, anything else right here? David said USD CAD short opportunity in 45 minutes. And he's also buying US 30 at 32,800. So let's see real quick. I'm going to pull up USD CAD real quick to see what David was looking at. Let's see, and there's no right or wrong way to trade, guys, right? So I just want to clear that up for you guys. Like a lot of people think there's only one way to trade. There's no one way to trade. Like you can trade any way that you like, as long as it's profitable. That's all that matters. I mean, what we've been doing here has been working for years, so that's why we continue to trade the way we do. But if you guys like to trade patterns, or you guys like to trade, other indicators, that's fine. As long as it works, that's all that really matters. But don't just get stuck on one thing. You guys should always be learning every single day. So here, David said short opportunity in 45 minutes. Possibly. I don't know if I really see a short here, David. Like for example, here, we still have a bullish bias, right? Because we had the buy signal right here. We had a rejection from this point. Buy signal right here. And then when price breaks and close past structure, what happens from that point? It pushes up to the next structure right here, right? So if this candle ends up closing bullish and it closes above here, then I personally would see this as shooting up from here to continue up even further. So I don't really look, I don't see this as a sell at all. I mean, I can see why you think it's a sell. You probably think it's going to reject off this point and come back down, which is a correct, it's a correct analysis. If it does close below here and it provides a sell signal, but for right now, we still have a buy signal. Our bias is still for buys right here because we have the buy signal right here. So I would have taken a buy here. I wouldn't necessarily be looking for a sell until we get a sell signal. If this ends up rejecting down here and then we get a sell signal and it closes below here, then yeah, I would take that. But me specifically, I wouldn't be looking for a sell right now. It looks like a buy to me. And one way to confirm this as well is we can pull up the dollar index right here. So we can pull up the DXY versus the CXY, and we can see the strength of each currency. So just looking at this right here, the dollar is strong, right? The dollar is strong, it's bullish. And the Canadian dollar is bearish, right? It's weak. So with that said, this is common sense. If this happens right here, then this should continue pushing up. There's no reason for a sell here because the dollar is strong, the Canadian dollar is weak. So for example, if price is going up, that means that the first currency is stronger than the second, which is the US dollar. Looking over here, it's pretty obvious that the dollar is strong and the Canadian dollar is weak. So with that said, this is bullish to me. And this is why I would take a buy here and I wouldn't take a sell. Because if you take a sell here, this is probably a trap right here. If you take a sell here, you're probably gonna get trapped and it's gonna end up stopping you out. So that's just my take on it. But all of my confirmations here line up. We have a bullish momentum here. For one, we have a bullish momentum. For two, we have a break and close past structure. For three, the indexes are pretty clear here. The dollar is strong, the Canadian dollar is weak. With that said, this is going to continue pushing up. So that's pretty much my analysis for USD CAD. If you're in a sell, good luck to your sell. I wouldn't knock your trade because you still have a good analysis if it closes below there. But in my perspective, just looking at this here, everything's pointing towards the upside. So I don't really see it coming down anytime soon. So yeah, good luck to your position, David, if you decide to take that sell there. And it looks like you're taking a buy for US 30. Let me check that real quick. So you said you were taking a buy at 32,800. I mean, that's a pretty long drop. You got a long way to go until it gets down to that point right there, David. Here, let me go over here real quick. Here, I'll just look at US 30 on the hour. So I'm just going to mark up your little price point right here that you mentioned. You said that you're trying to enter at 32,800. So you're trying to enter right there, right? I'm going to turn on my K2 SR indicators. I guess, yeah, your zone kind of lines up with mine over here as well. But there's other areas right here where it can bounce from as well. There's an area right here for it to bounce. There's an area right here for it to bounce. Yeah, your area is like right in between my zones. Actually, this might be one big zone right here. Let me check this real quick. Yeah, this is actually one big zone. So your zone's within my other zone right here. So if I turn this off right here, see your price point's right there. But there's a couple of different areas where it can bounce from. Like I could have it bounce from right here. Or like you mentioned, it can come down to here even further. And then it can bounce from this point. So yeah, you have a good analysis for both. It's just, we're not really sure where it's going to bounce from. But yeah, good luck to your positions, David. Hopefully they hit. All right, other than that, I think that's it for the day, guys. Let me see if there's any other questions before we continue. Jonathan said US 30 has been tempting me all day, all morning. Yeah, same here, bro. I wanted to enter them, but unfortunately, I just don't feel comfortable taking these trades. Like, look at this big spike up right there, right? Risky. Let me check the other questions here. Yik said, are the mentoring sessions for premium members only? No, they're open to well, it depends. So if you go on the YouTube channel, Yik, if you go over here and click on videos, all of my previous mentoring sessions that are public are right here in the green. So if you see it in green, it'll say like K2 mentoring session with founder Shawn. So all the green ones are all the previous mentoring sessions that I've had. I have about like 2 to 3 or maybe 3 to 5 a day. So depending on whether the person wants me to have it public or if they want it to be private, if it's public, it'll be here on the YouTube. If it's private, it won't be here, obviously, but you can sit in on any of the sessions. In order to sit in on those live mentoring sessions, all you guys need to do is like this stream, follow the YouTube channel and turn on notifications. By doing that, you're going to be telling YouTube that you want to watch my videos, because I don't publicize those mentoring sessions, because sometimes people get shy. You know, a lot of people don't like to be on camera. They don't like people listening to them. So what happens is, if you guys like this stream and you guys follow the YouTube channel and turn on notifications, then YouTube will send you an email every time I go live. They'll be like, hey, Shawn's going live for this mentoring session. Click here to join the session. And that's how you guys can join in. But it's completely free. So it's free to sit in, but those sessions are private. Well, they're not private, but they're one-on-one. So I'm not answering any other questions there. I'm just, focused on that one person to make sure that they get this stuff down and they become profitable after that session. So that's pretty much it for those. Let me see if there's anything else here. Steven's asking, do you think there will be scalping for US 30 later today? Possibly, Steven. So maybe during Asia session, I'll take some more trades, but there's no guarantee that we're going to have, good market at that point. If the market's good, then yeah, we'll take trades. If not, then we're going to play it safe. Jasmine said, what do you think about NAS sell on a 10-minute? Let me pull that up for you real quick, Jasmine. So I think that's it for the questions, guys. If you guys have any other questions, put them in the chat and then we can take a look. But looking at this here, so Jasmine said a sell. So I personally wouldn't take this right here, Jasmine. Reason for that's because prices it's just way too choppy, right? So like one way to identify choppiness in the market, like an easy way to do it, is to turn off your candles. And then by turning off your candles, you'll see that the pivots are kind of crossing over a lot right here, right? So with them crossing over like that, it just makes it a risky area to trade because price can easily reverse on you at any point. So I personally wouldn't take it if you're looking at it. CT said, what did I miss? Dude, I took like 2-year trade, CT, over here using your 15-minute strategy. I made like almost 5,000 this morning. And then I took these other trades and I lost it all, bro. I literally I wiped out all the profits. I think I have like some profit, but not very much. But yeah, man, this market today was crazy, bro. Yeah, your strategy worked in the beginning, but then it got super choppy and it ended up losing a couple trades, but it's all good. I understood the risk and I'm just glad that I'm net positive in profit for the day. But yeah, guys, so yeah, no, definitely, CT. Let me know if you have any updates for that strategy and then we can take a look. Like if you guys are looking at my screen here, I use different strategies now. So for our US 30, we used to only use one strategy. We would only use this daily entry. And then after that, I introduced my scalp strategy right here off the 10-minute. And then from there, we branched off to CT's 15-minute entry and then also Josh's 3-minute entry right here. So as you guys can see, K2 is always evolving. If we have new strategies, we share them with you guys and we just keep winning, guys. Like, that's the whole goal here, to be consistently profitable and to be profitable long-term. So I think that's it. But yeah, CT, let me know if you have any updates. Other than that, I think we're done for the questions and we're done for this session. So I've been on for about 3 hours now. It's about time for me to take a break. And then I'll probably be back later for my mentoring sessions. Let me see who I have a session with today. I think I have a couple sessions today. Yeah, so I'll have to check with them to see if they're still on. But if they are, then you guys can sit in on them. Just make sure to follow the YouTube channel so that they'll let you know. But other than that, guys, thanks for showing up. Hopefully you guys made a lot of profit today. It looks like you guys did overall. Let's see. Overall profits for the day. Let's see. C-Souk made down 3,000, 2,000 off that account. Cheryl over here made 2,000 off that account. Jasmine made about 50, 30 bucks off that account. C-Souk made 1,500 off the other account. David over here made 285. Jonathan made 1,311. Spencer made 1,435. Steve made a couple pennies, which is still profit. Profit's profit. And I think that's it for right now, guys. So I think that's pretty much all that we got for now. Let me check the premium. Looks like you guys are messing around the premium group. Other than that, I think that's about it. Okay, for FX over here. So Monster FX made 35 euros off these 2 trades. He took the NZD USD trade and the GU trade that we covered earlier. So nice work off that, Monster. So great profits all around for everybody here. Other than that, I think that's it for today. So thanks for showing up, guys. I'll catch you guys during the live sessions later today if I do go public. But other than that,